Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another day of Tankmas streaming, and today it's going to be quite the special one. As you can see here, I'm being joined first of all by Moff, and yeah, today we're gonna have the CC EBR Races. I couldn't be more excited.
No, me neither, Key. For those of you that don't know me, I'm sort of the guy when it comes to EBR racing. I'm the authority on that, and I am very excited to see what the CCs, your favorite content creators, have got to produce for us today.
All right, so first of all, I think it's time to talk about what are EBR races, and basically it's a combination of fast and speedy tanks. I mean, obviously EBR 105, and then being able to modify the game World of Tanks, where you're able to paint racetracks on towards the maps that you want to. That's basically the concept, and the person doing all of that and making the modifications for this is Svitman, one of our CCs. Huge shout out actually to him. We'll probably be posting his channel later here. But yeah, first of all, Moff, tell us a bit about like how long have you been racing, and how does the point system work, for example?
Well, the point system, well, first of all, EBR racing has been around since late 2020, so we've been doing this for a long time, and people get really try hard about it. Like, you would be horrified, some of the people in chat, the amount of time that I've spent driving around in training rooms just doing absolutely nothing else. It's my favorite thing to do in World of Tanks. It's a safe space for EBRs, keeps them out of the randoms because we know people love them when they drive around there. The point system, it's quite similar to Formula 1, if anyone's watched that. You first place gets 25 points, second place 21, third place 18, and so on and so on. It's not an equivalent to F1 because we don't want to punish people too harshly for dropping back in positions. And if you crash in the races, then you drop a couple points as well.
All right, so first of all that. Second of all, obviously, since this is one of the Tankmas streams, I do believe that we have drops lined up for you, as it is currently about 6:15 p.m. Prague time. The drops should be live for you. They're going to be running until, 10 p.m. That's a bit more than 3.5 more hours. So definitely still time to watch those 180 minutes, and then you'll be able to claim either a bundle of large rep, large medkits, and large extinguishers, or you will get a TKS 60 or an M4A1 FL10. I hope I remembered that name correctly. So tier 6 medium for the French, medium premium tank. And if you have the tanks already, then you get the credit compensation for it.
Yes, but the TKS is definitely the best thing to get from that, because any hide and seek enjoyers, it is absolutely perfect. It's so tiny, you can hide anywhere on any map.
Yeah, and then obviously this is not going to be the conclusion for the Tankmas streams. There is 3 more days after this one. The important thing obviously being that I think tonight there is no stream during an A times planned, because this one is fairly late for the EU times already. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be having another very special stream. It's going to be a historical live stream from the Tank Museum in Bovington, where some of our colleagues and some of the employees of the museum are going to be celebrating in that festive spirit. So definitely check out that as well. The Tankmas together with the Bovington live streams are some of the most watched events, and for good reason. So definitely tune in tomorrow as well. And on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, you're going to be hearing my voice again, because we are going to be having the, I guess, tradition by now, Winter Invitational. It's going to be European, American, and Chinese teams for the first time battling it out. So essentially for Europe, we have Opur and Hit and Run, the teams that have freshly returned with me from China, where they were actually playing in the World of Tanks Championship International. Spoiler, both of those were in the grand finals, and Hit and Run managed to win there, so definitely favorites for the Winter Invitational as well. For NA, we have the team of Smile that was in China, and the team of Bears that was second in the last 4-7 event for North America. And then for China, we have Xihong, which managed to qualify in the regional qualifiers, and GCAT that also qualified, but they were in Shanghai as well during the land there. So that's going to be the outline for the coming streams. And I guess all that's left now for us is to talk about more EBR racing.
Yeah, with the CCs, they've got a lot of maps to go here. It's an absolute marathon. We've got 10 maps of racing, which is more than we do even in the regular season EBR racing. So it's going to be a long one. The different groups that you see here, all of the points, so they'll be racing on Glacier, Mannerheim, Fjords, Province, Abbey, Pearl River, Nebel. You see the rest. All the points from one of the groups will be counted, but it's the best 3 out of 4 point scores from the groups. So imagine you get really good point score in Group A, you have a bad result in Group B, but you have a good result in Group C and D. Group B is your worst overall result, so it won't be counted in the final. Which is the system is designed so that you're not going to be punished too heavily in the early maps, because maps like Glacier and Mannerheim are very unforgiving for inexperienced EBR racers, which a lot of the CCs are.
Yeah, I think that is something we should touch on as well. I mean, I have raced in the past, and let's just say I basically had the mantra for myself that I shouldn't overtrain. So I definitely made sure I wouldn't do that, which in turn translated in most of the time my goal during racing being, to finish the race and not to end up DNF. DNF may be a term that we should explain to some of the people out there. It means did not finish. Did not cross the finish line, something like that. Because crashing is something that happens frequently during those races. It happens frequently, it happens often, and sometimes there is even damage that you are not able to avoid.
Yes, we also have did not start DNS, which is when people rage quit after having bad results. I'm not sure any of the CCs are going to be doing that, but in EBR racing, pace is important, but in order to finish first, like they always say, first you have to finish. So expect to see some people, when they go down to low HP, they're all going to be like, oh yeah, let's go fast in the beginning. And then maybe towards the latter stage, they will be going as slow as possible just to make their way around to the end.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that can be a tactic as well, to just, slow and steady. Maybe it doesn't win the race, but it's going to get you over the finish line.
You know what we call it in EBR racing? The term is coined grandma pace. So whenever you see someone going as slow as possible, that is grandma pace.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if we're going to see that. And now there is going to be 14 CCs participating. Is that a lot compared to regular racing, or?
That's about the size of like a standard group. So you have the grid positions. You have the grid positions on the mod. Everyone's assigned a position, and it all balances out at the end. So if someone starts at the front in the first race, then they'll eventually work their way to the back. But in EBR racing, it doesn't really matter that much, because you can go from the front to the back within about 10 seconds, and from the back to the front, and vice versa. So it's not surprising 14 CCs, but we've got varying different levels of experience. We've got some CCs who have raced in the regular season, which is what I do and what the other racers do, and we have some CCs who have never heard of EBR racing, and it's like, oh my god, I've got to practice this. And some people like Kaizu, one of the CCs, for example, who has just not done any practice. So he might be in for a rough evening.
I mean, we'll definitely see how quick they are to learn all of those things. Other than that, I think what's worthy to be mentioned is that essentially it's all going to be in a training room. The CCs, most of them are going to be using their main accounts, except Kaizu, who doesn't have the EBR. He's going to be playing on his press account, but he is going to be limited regarding the skills. I think he has 3 or 5 maximum, so shouldn't get any advantage from that. Other than that, I think people are not allowed to use purple HP, and yes, you heard correctly, because it can be useful on EBRs in EBR races to use the HP module, actually. Something we should maybe touch on, and also what would be your recommendations regarding field mods?
Well, so the purple HP, surprisingly, bond equipment is also overpowered in EBR racing, just like in your average random battle. Basically, the reason HP is so useful is because it sort of allows you to take less damage when you take really big jumps, which is what they will be doing later today. As for field mods, if you're aware of the EBR field mods, they want to always take the top speed one, apart from some very niche maps like Province, where there's really tight, twisty sections, but the marginal gains from that are so limited. So you pretty much always want to take top speed. And then there's field mods that increase your internal module durability, which you would normally like not take, but because it's only for EBR racing, you're not going to take an improved reload because you're not going to be doing any shooting, unless you want to get disqualified, of course.
All right, then I guess we can also talk about what, equipment. I mean, equipment, yes. What consumables should you use? So I would guess maybe fuel even?
Yeah, fuel is super useful. That's why we have a tiered system because of the different levels of experience. There's a tier 1, which is no fuel, no red fuel, I believe, which is the 10% to engine power. Then there's tier 2, which is no red fuel and no blue fuel and no food. And then there's tier 3, which is you're not allowed to use vents either, which is like, and it doesn't seem like that's a big difference, but fuel really does help out in the speed and the acceleration.
All right, so that all being said and done, I think we can start talking about the first map that we are going to see. I believe the races are going to be starting in less than 5 minutes. I believe the CCs are already starting to enter the training room here. And yeah, we're starting off on, well, we had a discussion yesterday and today as well, Glacier, however you want to call it. But it says difficulty hard there. So what to expect here?
Yeah, like I said earlier, Glacier and Mannerheim are the 2 hardest maps that they will be racing on today. So they're coming straight out of the blocks with very difficult map designs. You can see by the track layout, we've got a bunch of different colors here. We have green over here, which is the start, and then they'll follow around to there. The white represents the finish, which is at the end. The purple is, the pink is the normal track that they will be driving on. You don't actually have to stick to the road. The most important thing that you need to remember while watching this event is the checkpoints, which are these little blue lines that they need to drive through in order to not get disqualified. So as long as they drive through all the checkpoints in the intended order, they can go basically wherever they want. So if they're leaving the tracks, don't call them out for track limits or cheating or anything like that. Some other track colors that we've got as well. We've got this yellow here. A yellow track is basically a super risky shortcut. So a more risky shortcut than the normal road, which can save a lot of time, but being risky, there's also the potential that you can crash. So you've got to really practice, especially this jump here. It's super difficult if you do not practice it well. The other color that we've got is the Joker lap, which is the orange, which is over here. The Joker lap is basically an alternative section of track that you have to take on one of the laps of the track. The race is going to be 4 laps on every map, I believe. So on one of the 4 laps, they have to take this Joker lap section. They can only take it once, and it cannot be taken more than once, otherwise they'll get disqualified.
Does that mean that sometimes the Joker lap is shorter, or is it going to be always longer than here on Glacier?
Well, you can see by the layout that the yellow road goes straight back towards the pink over here. So the Joker lap is going to be way longer. Sometimes you've got to be strategic as to decide when you're going to do it. Generally, if you're at the front of the field, you want to take the Joker lap at the end because you don't want to be coming out back into traffic and potentially people slowing you down if you've got more pace than them. If you're at the back of the field on the opening lap, it would be generally a better idea to take the Joker lap in the beginning.
All right, and then obviously we have green and white, which are the beginnings and endings respectively. Other than that, we have talked about crashing a lot now. Out of the 14 CCs, how many do you think are going to end up finishing on Glacier?
At an absolute maximum, half. Oof. I think it's probably more likely to be 3 or 4, because usually what happens is half to 2/3 of the field will crash, and then the remaining 4 guys will be like, "Oh, I should probably just stay alive to get some points," and then they all go grandma pace. So that is what I would expect most of the time.
All right, Glacier obviously being one of the hard maps. You mentioned Mannerheim line as well. What would be some of the easier maps in your opinion?
Well, some of the easier maps are the ones that don't have what we would term RNG jumps, which are what obviously RNG. Sometimes you just can't really affect how much damage you're going to take from a drop. So the more there's maps that are more technical based, so they don't have these big RNG jumps, but you can still save a lot of time if you drive efficiently on them. So easier maps, I suppose, would be Klondike, Fjords, Province, but they're still very difficult to drive at maximum possible pace.
All right, and now here we also, like at the aircraft carrier, we just saw some very, very narrow sections. We are going to be playing in training rooms, which means team damage obviously is enabled, and all of the CCs are going to be in the same team, as that means they will not be dealing a lot of damage towards each other in regards to, like, when they drive into each other. Obviously, we want the CCs to race cleanly, but
no, we want them to race dirty. That's what the content is, key.
Oof. Okay. Moff already looking for the dirty things here. I see how it is. But yeah, in the end, how long do you think each map or race is going to take?
Every map is roughly about 15 minutes, but give or take based on how fast the CCs make it around the track.
So we are looking at potentially more than 15 minutes a race, which means that the longer the race goes, the more potential for the gamers there to make a mistake as well. Personally, I'm looking really forward towards the jump that we see right now, like at the back of the screen, like above the little, I guess,
the opening green. The opening green jump.
No. Like in the middle of the map where it goes above the.
It goes over the little arch.
Yeah,
that one. It's not it's not that difficult, but everything in EBR racing, even the easy stuff, if you get it wrong, it can be pretty catastrophic in terms of HP loss.
And now, since you are definitely the very experienced racer in between the two of us, where have you not crashed on this map? I think is the better question.
Where have I not crashed? In the straight line parts, probably. That would be the only places that are safe. When you do a lot of EBR practice and you've done as many races as I have, you tend to crash a lot in very random places all of the time. You're always learning new things. I mean, the great thing about the physics is that there's some stuff that happens that we don't know why it happens, but we know it does. So we drive accordingly. So we know that when you do a jump, you want to land on sort of downward sloping terrain, or you want to land on your front two wheels in EBR, because you'd think that landing perfectly flat would be the best way to preserve your hit points, but there's some jumps where if you do that, you're just kaput, just immediate explosion. So the intricacies of EBR racing and all the micro adjustments that you can make and the knowledge that you can acquire to not lose HP is critical.
All right. Then also, I think we should talk about one or two more things. One going to be how the race gets started, and that is basically there is going to be a Sheridan at the start and finish line that will count down and then basically shoot. And as soon as the Sheridan shoots, that means the races get started. And also, you see there is 2 E50Ms in the opposing team here. Those are going to be put at strategic locations throughout the racing track. And they will basically just be standing there and, I guess, watching menacingly.
Yes, the E50Ms exist so that no one can be cheeky and try to cut a checkpoint. And they can, if you get your line wrong, you can actually jump straight into them, which, E50Ms... you might lose a tiny amount of HP, maybe more. Sheridan is used so that they can time when the race starts, because if you just assigned a countdown, then people would.
Yeah, and otherwise you can see that the CCs have driven into the starting positions. As I said, there is... they are pre-assigned, which means everyone is going to be sometimes at the front, sometimes at the back, sometimes in the middle of the pack. I guess the last option there probably being the worst one, because that means giving up a lot of will as to where you're going to go. If people are in front of you, beside you, behind you. And here we do see the races do get started. The contributors starting their engines.
Do I still sound like a robot, Key, or not?
Not to me, at least.
All Okay, so we got Skill for LTU on the front row, XCR, the Spanish superstar, leading the way so far. We've got Jackifer, the German sub who came in at the last second, leading the way at the moment, squabbling for positions. We've got Chef, who's fallen to the back of the field so far, but no one's been spun around in the first corner, so clean racing so far.
Yeah, clean racing indeed, as we do see the very, very long straight here. And XCR, the Spanish CC, just leading the pack here. And no crashes. Right now would be the point in time where I would probably lose all of my HP. The CCs, though, very, very careful. And we can see, oh, Monster. Now, one of the favorites here to take it all because he's been racing a lot. The man is basically tryharding every single game mode he gets his hands on.
Yes, he's hot off the win in the WCI, and he's looking to take a win in EBR Racing now. So it's Jackifer and Monster who have gone through the front of the field in P1 and P2. That is to be expected. Jackifer and Monster are both experienced.
And now we are driving here through the next, I guess, chicane, as you might say. Jackifer still leading the way here. And he's going to jump down. The next jump here, we can see no damage taken. Monster is actually trying to do it nice and cleanly. Orsenel and Ducky following behind. Skill and Kamil also jumping down. No one taking any kind of damage. I think Kaizu there almost with big problems. And now we can see Jackifer in the lead, trying to attempt the big jump here. JXCR, Mouse Acrobat, all of them not crashing. And Jackifer does die immediately. So that did not go as expected. Orsenel and Ducky, though, making it cleanly. But yeah, the racetrack here claiming its first victim. And obviously not really what you want to see from the person in the leading position. But yeah, Ducky and Orsenel really making a run for it. We can see Freddy also with the quick jump here. Does take some damage for it. And HP in this is basically a resource that you need to keep until the end of the race. You can spend some of it to, take a shortcut, as we do see QB here also very, very careful with driving down. The same going for Chef. But yeah, the fact that the tank in the lead was the one to die first is already what tells you even the experienced racers will sometimes make mistakes, and sometimes it only takes a single one for you to get taken out of the equation here. And now, Marty there not making the jump is going to have to drive down. Same one for Malzekrop, but he doesn't even attempt it. QB now coming. Obviously, the CCs are very free to use whatever camo they want. Part of the EBR Racing mod, obviously, also meaning... part of the mod being that you can also customize a lot. You will see some billboards here with some messages, also some sponsorships by players who really like the races and want to sponsor a particular map. But yeah, currently Ducky looking like he's in the lead. Monster already down towards half HP. And Freddy down towards 205. He also needs to be very careful from here on out, as Mouts does make it through here, goes the slow route. QB there in the back, there on the right, you saw one of the billboards coming in, and Marty taking some damage on this jump down here. That one isn't really a one where you would normally want to lose a lot of HP, but you can see the respect that some of the CCs have towards the racing track. Also Grobart driving here. Beautifully designed track, but as you can see in the top right, there's a lot of people who have already lost a lot of HP. Both Freddy and Kaizu down super, super low. And Ducky, also one of the people that if he drives in a certain game mode, he does tend to try hard it. So that's, I think, why we see him in the lead here. Currently looking, I think, to maybe do the Joker lap. So yeah, he's going to drive on towards the orange part of it there, as we see some other guy, I'm not really sure who it was. He jumped down, you can see it on the minimap, but he lost some HP, but he's going to be taking the lead for it instead. That might be Arsenal. We'll have to wait and see as Ducky completes his Joker lap.
Hello, am I back? Do I sound like a robot or not? Or am I good?
Oof. QB there taking 880 damage. That is going to hurt. We'll have to hope for him. Obviously, we don't see the modules And yeah. We don't know if he lost crew members there, even if he even has a medkit with him. So we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, hopefully the technical difficulties with Moth will be resolved rather soonish. But yeah, maybe some reconnecting. All of that is going on in the background, but meanwhile, we see Mouts there opting out, not going for the fast route. Marty does it, and Kamil even on the slow route, taking damage here on the Joker lap as well. So a continuous HP drain, and I think this comes with the fact that of what I said is that HP here is definitely a resource that you spend throughout the race, but you have to be very, very careful when and how to spend it. And yeah, at the end of the day, you always want to have some remaining at the end. Otherwise, it's going to be a DNF, just like it was for a Jackafa, who was in the lead and then immediately crashed. So Orzenel doesn't want to spend his HP either, is going down slowly, and we do have a second contestant that did crash, Mr. Chef. So the Hungarian racer is going to drop out of it here, and it seems that Orzenel has taken the lead, as Skill for LTU has also bitten the dust. So the Baboon King here not going to be netting a lot of points on this map number 1 here. QB with a good jump over this. He's going to... Oof, and Orzenel also jumping down. So you can see all over the map, there is jumps scattered all around. And that is going to mean that naturally, as soon as you maybe, take one of those jumps at an angle that you don't want to, that you're going to be losing HP. Orzenel now down to about half, and Freddy, the German CC, also dying now. So a lot of the CCs were able to, stay alive for at least half of the match, or of the round, of the race. But now those low HPs are starting to really come in at times that are, not very good for those CCs. Ooh, Kaizu down towards 75. I mean, yeah, he can finish on 1 HP, but he needs to be careful also not to take any kind of damage from Kamilita, a Polish representative, because, yeah, any kind of ramming could even be detrimental to Kaizu at this point, as, yeah, Monster there. Not really sure where he's situated in the game right now, as we also see on the minimap that another player has just completed their Joker lap. Oof. JXCR, another 600 HP gone. So yes, this jump does speed things up a lot, but it is a costly one. Marty there in the back, the Czech CC, does not spend any HP here this time. And now, oof, Daki with a beautiful line overtaking JXCR. That was well raced. And are we going to see the jump by Daki and JXCR both? Yeah, both of them completing it as well. So good stuff. Clean lines coming out from both the Belgian and the Spanish guy here. Aussie there in the back is probably going to do it soon. But the next jump here awaiting Daki and JXCR both. And oof, that was ever so close here. JXCR, the Spanish guy, now needs to be very, very careful. Below 100 HP, that is where you cannot take any risks anymore. Otherwise, it's going to mean, yeah, you're not going to be finishing, very likely. As another CC bites the dust. Orzenel now also dying, bringing the number of contestants down to less than 10. So only 9 remaining here, as Daki taking full advantage of himself being very healthy still towards XCR, who needs to be very, very careful, obviously. And now Marty there coming from the back lines as well. Lap 3 is done, so we are heading in towards the final lap of the map number 1 of the EBR Races. And yeah, Daki still seems to be leading the pack here. So we'll have to wait and see if he's going to be able to get that over the finish line or if he's not going to be able to do that. Ship the Nuts, by the way, that is just his account name. You will know him better under the name Des Games. That is, I believe, his Twitch channel as well. As he does jump down here. And, oh my god, if Caster Curse was a thing, then I just did that as, yeah, he crashes right in front of our eyes and closely after, followed by Marty off screen. Marty Vola there, yeah, also biting the dust down and out of this one, making it only 7 CCs remaining. So Daki, Kamil, Monster, QB, XCR, Kaizu, and Mautz Acrobat, another German representative, still in it to win it, playing it very, very conservatively. All right. And now we are at the finish line here. Daki, it seems, is going to be the first one to complete it. We can see him doing a little U-turn with the wheels. He is going to be netting himself a nice amount of points. And yeah, obviously the race for others still ongoing. We'll have to wait and see. Kamil now with another jump. Oh, but you can see he's approaching this one extremely carefully as Monster in the back lines there takes a huge amount of damage. And Kamil there trying to do it safely does get down without losing any kind of HP. So I guess that is the grandma pace that we were talking about. Quick Fingers not going to do the quacky baby here for now, as he is going to drive up and over, still in the race here to win it. 6 contestants alive currently, as Kamil does jump over it. And yeah, I mean, Kaizu, we talked about his low HP before. It doesn't get much lower than that. 1 single HP remaining for him, so cannot afford to do any kind of mistakes. Mautz Acrobat there, the next one driving over, and you can see QB with the hot rod style applied there, so driving in style. The doctor of World of Tanks. I mean, he seems to be behind Mautz currently, but he is still in the race, unlike the majority of the participants, who are, at this point in time, all relegated to the sidelines. And yeah, I mean, Kaizu, that is going to be very problematic for him with the 1 HP, as actually Mautz Acrobat, the next one to die here, leaving only 5 EBRs alive. And I believe 3 of those have already finished the race, leaving only QB. And I'm not sure who the other one is. And yeah, you can obviously see there by Marty, very, very clean. Also in the chat from him, apologizing for, well, I guess an unintended carambolage in between the tanks earlier. As, yeah, Monster, Kamil, Daki, and Kaizu seem to have finished. We're just waiting for the, yeah, for the British prodigy, I would say, that is approaching it very, very carefully. Yeah, he's writing in chat there, pray for me. We'll have to wait and see if that is going to go well, as he does approach it here, starting to drive down. And he does make it. So, does make it further than Mounts Acrobat, which means that now it should be easy going for him. Is it going to be easy going? We'll find out momentarily. QB there, approaching the next jump. Ooh, you can see he desperately wants to finish the race here. As, yeah, he's going to go through the outside, out around the parked E50M. And...
Hello, T? Am I back? Do I sound
I
like
do
a
hear you,
robot?
Moff. I hope you're coming through on stream.
Oh my god. Am I actually back? Right at the end, just to watch my idol, QB, the British driver, make it to the end of the checkered flag. I don't sound like a robot. Oh my god, I came back after 4 laps. Quick fingers is going to make it to the end. This is exactly what I was talking about. Grandma Pace is in the house, making it to the end on 181 HP. I don't know what position he finished in. Was it about 6th or 7th there?
I believe 5th. So 4 EBRs made it over the finish line before him. Obviously, Monster there with a kill does spoil the scoreline somewhat at the end. But this is going to mean that you had a pretty good guess, actually. 4 out of the 14 did make it across the finish line. 5 out of the 14.
No, I think one of them crashed at the end. So
yeah. One of them was killed by Monster at the end. And you can see the low amount of HP there, right?
Who actually won the race in the end? I was so distracted by my technical issues. Was it the Killzor that won?
Yes, it was Daki who won. And you
so
can see, yeah, a lot of the experienced people there still did make it.
Yeah, Jackifer, though, crashing on the opening lap. He went for it on the yellow. Maybe he'll be regretting that decision because you maybe you want to take the yellow later on, because if you just take the pink road like the rest of them, he still would have finished in like P4, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, probably.
Was Monster on 6 HP all the way to the end, or did he get rammed at the after the checkered flag?
I'm not sure on how much HP he actually did drive over the finish line, but yeah, definitely Daki the first one to cross it. So he did win this race number 1, and now it's up to you to tell us, how does the point distribution work for the people who did not finish?
Well, I'm sorry about the technical issues, everyone, but Daki winning the first race means he gets 25 points on the board. Who finished in second? I don't know. There we go. Conveniently, the points are displayed. We've got the kills are in first with 25 points. Monster finishes in second, so it's not really surprising that those two are the ones to finish P1 and P2 in this race. Camille did a good job. And look at Kaizu. Kaizu, with 16 points, he finished in P4. Just by finishing the race, he gets points on the board. It doesn't matter how fast you are, as long as you make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, and he made it on exactly 1 HP. So that 1 HP netting him 16 points. That's a very, very effective use. Of course, this is now just the results of the map number 1. There are no other results to display, but we'll have nice and convenient showcasing for when multiple rounds of races have basically been played. But yeah, were there any big surprises, or were you just too taken up with the with the technical issues? And we should probably start talking about the next map.
Well, Jackifer at the bottom. We would have expected him. We didn't actually talk about it pre-race, but Daki, Monster, and Jackifer are the 3 racers who are in the tier 3 handicap the tier 2 handicap category, which is where they're not allowed to run fuel, any fuel, whether that be blue or red, and they're not allowed to run food either. So he is supposed to be regarded as one of the top 3, and like I said, he just risked it on the yellow on the opening lap. Daki did as well, to be fair, but Daki kept his composure, so Jackifer choking early on in this one. But remember, because of the way the group is set up, the first group has 3 races in it, and then the last group only has 1 race in it. So crashing in the early groups isn't going to be as detrimental to your points tally.
Yeah, exactly. And so this basically leaves us with, well, the placement and the points after round number 1 out of 10 in total. And yeah, this means now we are going to map number 2. Hopefully we're going to be able to see the maps again. So basically we'll have we'll get to see which map is going to be the next one. Anything out of the ordinary here? Or also what I wanted to ask you to explain to the viewers is basically, does the order of crashing mean anything, or does it mean anything how far you got through the race? So basically, if you crash later, but you were driving slower, so you crashed at an earlier stage in the race, does that put you earlier or later or better or lower or higher in the points?
Well, the further around you get is based on your position, right? So if someone crashes and then you crash further around the track in front of them, then you will get obviously one position greater than them, but every crash is minus 3 points from. So if you have let's say you finish P7 but you crashed and you're the first person round, the closest to the finish line, you would get the points for P7 and then -3. So you lose points because you crashed, but you're still ahead of everyone else. So even if you crash right at the end, you're still going to get more points than everyone else who died earlier on.
Yep. That being said, I believe we're about ready to jump into our second race. As we do see all of the CCs already lined up on a Mannerheim line. We saw difficulty extreme. So would you say the most difficult map?
Yes, I would. And the thing about Mannerheim line is you can see on the minimap, our viewers would have keenly observed, that yellow does go directly through the water on the lake on Mannerheim line. So the question is anyone going to risk it? But the race is underway. Kaizu with a good start there. Jakov has got the inside line for the first corner. He's going very far away from the rest of the group. You've really got to just try and get through the first couple corners cleanly because it costs you valuable race time. As we see that Freddy has been caught up in the back. We have some people who had a delayed start. They just didn't race in the beginning. I think that was skill caught at the back.
Yeah, and now we do go into the first choke point of the map where Jakifa and Arsenal are currently fighting for the top spot. As, we do see the race administration, they're telling Chef he still has to redo one of the checkpoints. But obviously, if people crash before him, that might not even matter. Jakifa currently still in the lead, followed by Ozzy, followed by Marty. Daki there, not far behind. Kaizu already having paid over half of the HP that he has on his tank.
Yes, losing half your HP before you've even barely started the first lap is not good, but Orzano is making a move for the lead here, and he spins Jakif around. He's facing the wrong way. He's got to turn his EBR all the way back round, and Daki and Marty are going to go up into P2 and P3 there, but HP preservation is key on Mannerheim line. You need to save your HP for the big jumps that we've got later on.
Yeah, definitely. As we can see, a part of the map that normally you don't usually really play on, but the racetrack dictates the pace of where the CCs are going to go. Freddy here getting the better of all of the others in the port behind him, but here we do see the group that's currently in the lead. Ozanel there leading the charge, being followed by Daki, Marty, Jakifa, Monster, but it's all still very, very close.
Yeah, the CCs have already split up into several small groups, but it's Orzano who's leading the way at the moment. Marty and Dak. Oh, Orzano, bad landing. That's minus 920 on the opening lap, and Marty has been eliminated. So Orzano down to 400 HP already. Daki right on his tail now. He's trying to get past. He goes with a tighter line, but we've just cut away because we're watching Camel Eater go through the pink road. XCR going on the yellow there, gaining a couple positions.
Oh, and now a lot of them here driving down and trying to not crash. Oof, that was pretty dangerous by JXCR. And here we have one of the big drops that you were talking about. QB doing a good job, not losing any HP. And oof, Ozanel there, down and out. Daki does make it through the water, however.
Yes, Daki going for the pink road. No one as of yet has gone for the yellow. Let's see if anyone has the cojones to go for that one. But look at the top three, as we predicted. It's Daki, Jakifa, and Monster. Kaizu, again, is doing very well. He did just lose a bit of HP going through the water, but currently he's in P4.
Yeah, and now QB and Kamil finding the huge jump down here. QB is going to make it without losing HP. Kamil, ooh, that did not look too comfortable for him. And now in the end here, Des Games looking at it as XCR also falls.
XCR, the third person eliminated in this one. Dez is kind of stuck on that wreck there. He should be able to get out. Skill is they're just playing. They're just having a bit of fun here. The back markers just helping each other out, trying to make buddy up and make sure they get to the end. Meanwhile, Daki is almost at the end. The final drop before he's going to start the second lap already.
Yeah, Daki here once again, performing very, very well on Mannerheim line. Jekafar not far behind. Monster also starting to drop down as Des Games here does bite the dust on some jump on some other part of the map. Yeah, as you said, this map probably one of the most difficult ones, and Kaizu once again spending a lot of that precious HP very, very early.
And Maus as well, minus 800 there on that jump. This map is lethal if you don't know what you're doing, but Daki very much in the lead right now. Jackifer and Monster are battling it out for second place at the moment. We've already lost 1/3 of the CCs, and they've got 3 laps to go, Keyhand. Will any of them actually make it to the end?
That is a very, very good question, as QB there is going to crash as well. So, yeah, probably in 5th last place or 6th last place for him. Not exactly sure, but we do see Ducky there with good racing lines. Very, very clean stuff coming out of him for now. Monster, I think, has a bit gotten the better of Jekafar there for now, but obviously these huge jumps here that we do see skill for LTU trying to drive through currently. Those are going to be the main problem. Is he going to make it out of there?
He'll get out of that. He just needs to do a little bit of wiggling and reverse his EBR. But Daki in the lead of the race, you know, pace is good, but, you know, as like we always say, survival is the #1 priority. Chef did not take that to heart, minus all of his HP down to 100. If he makes any kind of slight mistake, he will be eliminated from this one. But Daki again going for the pink road. No one's gone for the yellow so far. Either they're not confident enough to do it, or they know that they don't really need to. They don't really need to risk it with the. Oh, Daki could be in trouble here. He's flipped on his roof. He's done a barrel roll, but he's completely fine. Bit of HP loss down to 900 remaining, and that's going to allow Monster and Jackifer with a little bit more pace. They're going to close the gap up slightly, so this battle for the lead could be back on here.
It could be back on as Ducky's still in the lead, but I think Monster and Jackifer were sort of able to close the distance a little. Obviously, that barrel roll, that is time that you do not spend driving forwards. So other people will be able to catch up. So the leading group here, I would call them, of Ducky, Monster, and Jekafar, currently firmly ahead of everyone else. But yeah, this map might just be about to claim its next victims.
Yeah, they're pushing each other with the pace. We've got the next group, which is headed up by Maus. Then we've got Kaizu on 200 HP. Freddy going full speed through the water, though, but I think he just speed boosted Kaizu a little bit, so he's not able to get past at the moment. The real question will be, are the front runners actually going to end up lapping anyone? Because remember, this is only lap 2. Daki going very slow on the drop down. You can lose significant HP there. It's not the most reliable way to drop safely because you're dropping from rocks onto more rocks. Monster loses 22 HP and then 159 just from barely touching the wreck. Jackifer loses a bit of HP as well, but this all adds up. The more chip damage they take, the more... Ooh, and Chef as well, even more chip damage down to 66 hit points, driving into the rock. Spaghetti hands there. But all this chip damage adds up over the 4 laps, so by the time they get to the final lap of the race, they're going to have to be really careful.
Yeah, now Skill, the next one, to show whether he is going to go down and out or just down the rock, and he's going to continue safely driving as he doesn't lose any HP there. Is the same going to be true for Chef is the question. Down towards 66, needs to be careful, cannot afford anything anymore. Drops on the side, does a barrel roll, but survives for now.
Sour points for that one, but you know, he's alive in the race, and that's what counts. The 5 guys that have been eliminated already, Chef is ahead of all of them. So no matter what his pace is, he is not in last place at the moment with 66 hit points remaining.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the other people having crashed early, but still we see Daki being in the lead here. Monster not far behind, is not going to opt into the yellow jump here to maybe catch up a little bit more, instead going for the safe route. Jackifer, that was like somewhere around
where's
Monster's...
Jackifer gone? He's completely dropped off the pace. It's now a battle for the lead. Monster with more speed than Daki. I don't know what happened to Jackifer, and he didn't complete the Joker lap because you can't see him there on the minimap. But Daki, under pressure now, he opted to take it slow. He's trying to play it safe, but Monster is hustling him, trying to take this P1 away from him.
Yeah, exactly. So the battle for the lead here currently going on, but obviously clean racing coming out from both of them, opting to choose different routes here. And Monster with the inside line is going to make it. So the young boy from Poland that recently returned from Shanghai is going to be overtaking Ducky currently, who still seems like he's on a roll, because if he keeps it up, he's still, I think, gonna get the overall lead for points, as Chef there, he was super low, does drop out of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately for Chef, he is not going to be able to make it to the end in this one. But like we said, he's going to finish ahead of 5 other racers just for making it around another lap. But we've got Freddy against Mouse, and then Kaizu as well on 199 HP. These are battling. They're actually battling for... Wait, where is Jackifer? What position is he in right now? Did he flip or something? Because he is just completely dropped off the radar here. He was ahead of Freddy. And Mouse and Kaizu is flipped again. There's another barrel roll down to 56 hit points in this one.
Mouse there taking some more damage. As we can see, Kaizu is not going to be making it either. Was very low and is going to leave a second wreck there. As Monster does get stuck on the EBR, and Ducky not giving him a second. Giving him a second
awards,
glance, and now we see Monster.
No awards for sportsmanship here, but Monster, he should be able to get out of this in the EBR. If you just constantly mode switch between rapid travel and slow mode, you can generally move wrecks, so it might take him quite a long time, but he will be able to get out of that. The question is, are the guys at the back going to catch up with him? Is Freddy going to overtake him? Who's the other one? Camille going to overtake him as well? Because, he's gotten out of it now, so he's lost a lot of time though, and that should allow Daki to just consolidate the win here because he has such a big gap.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to take the second win here, as we see skill for LTU now. Realizing that there is a lot of wrecks. There is Jackifer all the way back there in on the screen. So he is not completely lost, but he seems to have lost a lot of the places that he had, as Skill does make it through here.
Yes, you see Skill, he backed up to make sure he got in a run up and had enough speed, because the wrecks, the dead tank wrecks in the water, not only are they eliminated, but they're providing an obstacle. Daki now doing the joke lap. He's going to fall off the side of the map. He's stuck in the hole and he's dead. He's eliminated.
So yeah, Ducky not going to be completing the Joker lap. But now Monster, the next one to attempt it. Is he going to do it? Young Dominic here.
He's going the correct way on the Joker lap, which is pretty important. Will he make the same mistake that Daki did, though? Because Daki, he didn't quite have enough speed, and then he just lost all traction and slipped down. Monster going high. Is he going to fall into the hole, though? He's got to be careful. You can get stuck in that little pit there, but he makes it out alive. So Monster is going to be in the lead of the race. Now Freddy is the man that's up into P2. Thank you very much to Killsor for crashing. Freddy up to second place on Mannerheim line.
Yeah, Freddy now also going the same way that Monster did. Is he going to be able to make it up there? It doesn't seem like it, so he'll have to go the lower way. As, yeah, Monster there, I think he did even go for the faster yellow route here. Nah, he did go all the way around, so going the safe route, as Freddy does complete the Joker lap.
Yes, Freddy makes it through there safely. Now Mouse is going to go for it. I can't remember what lap we're on, but Camille is going to continue on. So Mouse, now the next person to attempt this Joker lap. He's carrying quite a bit of speed, but he's crashed into the rock. He's going to have to get his EBR directed the correct way, or he's going to slip back. Don't fall into the pit. Don't fall into the pit. He's fine. He's made it through, and he's another one to complete the Joker lap.
Yeah, exactly. So even the Joker lap on this map, seemingly not the easiest thing to do. I believe we should be in lap number 4. So as soon as Monster goes through the water, through this jump there, he should be able to finish it cleanly and take down the first victory. Currently, still 6 CCs remaining here. I would be willing to bet that we're not going to end on 6.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that someone might crash at the end here. Oh, Skill is slipping, but he's got just about enough speed to stay high and wide and not to succumb to the same fate that the Killzor did. So he's going to be alive in this one as well. And Jakiva now is... What I really want to know what happened to Jakiva, because now he's going for the Joker lap, and he's actually... Of all the people that are still alive, he's actually in last place, so he must have flipped somewhere.
Or maybe his driver is dead or something like that?
Unlikely. Even if your driver is dead, it wouldn't mean that he drops back this far in positions. I've just received information that Jakiva's PC crashed mid-race, and that's why he dropped so far back through the field. So, you know, you can have mechanical failures in F1 and other racing series. You can also have mechanical failures in EBR racing in the form of your PC crashing.
Well, another thing that just failed was Mouse Acrobat, as he crashes as well, leaving only 5 racers alive in this map number 2 here. You said it is probably the most difficult one in the pool, so we firmly expect more people to be alive at the end of it all. During the next maps, but Monster is going to be netting himself the first victory for himself, is going to come in a firm spot number 1.
It's going to be 25 points on the board, and that will take him to the top of the scoreboard as well, because Daki, who was his closest challenger, crashed in this one. Monster got second and first place in the first 2 races. Camille is going to be the person to finish in second. So Camille kind of came out of nowhere, though. I think he went for the Joker lap very early on. Freddy is going to finish in the final podium spot. And then it's just... who else have we got? Is there someone else who was... Is it just Jakiva and Skill left?
Probably, yeah. I mean, 5 CCs leaves 3 for the podium and 2 to watch from the sidelines. As the majority of participants once again is not going to finish the race here. And Jakiva, I mean, seemingly having done away with the technical difficulties, as yeah, we also see that a lot of others have already driven over the finish line. Yeah, Jakiva there with the PC crash, but he is still in the race, and that just shows you that, you know...
Final time. Oh no!
Ooh, the Baboon
right
King
at the
there.
end, the final hurdle, Skill has crashed, and Jakiva, I was going to say he must feel like a cursed man. He crashed from the lead on race 1. His PC crashed in race 2, but thanks to Skill not making it to the end, he is going to finish in P4. So, considering everything that's gone on in the first 2 races, it's a pretty decent recovery for Jakiva.
Yeah, you know, when I was communicating with the CCs that Jakiva was going to come in a last minute as a replacement, I actually did like the joke, is it going to be a crashing or a crushing performance by him? So far, the first one, definitely true. But this means that now he's going to be one of only 4 people that make it over the finish line, concluding the second round of the EBR Races 2023.
I did say Mannerheim Line, it is the most dangerous map in EBR racing, and the CCs have demonstrated that perfectly for us by doing an exhibition of crashing.
A lot of wheeled light tanks are going to be lying scattered with their wrecks all around the map. But yeah, do you think there were any surprises so far, or is everything going sort of expected?
The biggest surprise, obviously, is Daki crashing from the lead of the race. He had such a big gap to Monster as well, because remember, Monster got stuck on the tank wreck. So Daki had so much time to figure out how he wanted to get round the Joker lap, and he just lost traction. He just turned his EBR around the wrong way, and then from then on, he was just a passenger, right? He's just slowly slipping down the ice. It's so slippery there. If you don't carry enough speed, you will fall into the pit. And even if he didn't crash, you can't actually get out of that pit. Believe me, I've tried. I've spent way too much time trying to figure out if it's actually possible to climb out, and it isn't.
All right, so that leaves actually back-to-back Polish people at the top here of the race, Monsteo and Kamelita. Then back-to-back Germans, Freddy and Jakiva. Then Skill for LTU. Lithuanian Mouts once again, German, Ducky, Belgian, Kaizu, Hungarian, Chef, Hungarian, QB from Britain, JXCR from Spain. Where's Des Games from, actually?
Estonia.
Estonia. And Aussie there, Romanian, I believe, and Marty, obviously, Czech. So, yeah, truly a European event today. Very happy to see it. Other than that, this now means that we are able to look at the map group scores. And so far, Monster, absolutely solid performance.
Yeah, Monster, top of the leaderboard. Almost the perfect score so far. Second place on Glacier, first place on Mannerheim line, 46 points on the board. Then we've got Camille in second with 39. Camille just very quietly going about doing a good job so far. DeKilza with the 25 points, but then the crash. Kaizu putting in some decent points as well. But we've got a lot of people who have one very good result and then one very bad result.
Yeah, so hit and miss for most of the participants here. So that is going to complete 2/3 of the map group number 1. I guess we'll have a look at what is going to be our third map, and that is going to be Fjords. Once again, difficulty hard.
Yeah, Fjords is personally my favorite map in EBR Racing, just because it's so beautiful with the technical sections. You can save so much time with your micro inputs on your keyboard, just mode switching, knowing the perfect lines everywhere. We've got this big yellow right in the middle of the map, which can be very dangerous, and it looks very sketch, but it is actually doable quite reliably, or maybe not for these CCs though.
Yeah, as we do see the CCs driving into the pre-assigned positions here. With the racing mod that is designed by Svitman, obviously you can see that you can repaint those maps as well. And currently we have the festive, we have the holiday season. So yeah, nice and cozy snowy fjords.
Yeah, we did mention earlier, of course, all the grid positions, they're balanced out in the end. So at one point, everyone gets to start on the front row, everyone will start on the back. But as we can see in EBR Racing, it can all change at the first corner, so it doesn't really matter. But we've got Marty on pole position at the moment, who had a really bad last 2 races.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if he is able to somehow recuperate his losses as the bell rings. And the Sheridan shoots, and off to the races, off to round number 3 we go here. Marty and Kamil currently in the lead. QB, driving there to the right, a bit through the water. That's not going to slow him down a whole lot, though, as we do see all of them are going to be lapping around. As Kamil does get police turned around, completely chaos ensues.
Yeah, Camel getting pit maneuvered, swallowed up by the chasing pack, and on Fjords, because unlike Glacier and Mannerheim line, it's very tight and twisty. It's very difficult to get past people. We've got Jackifer and Marty going side by side. Jackifer trying to go down the inside of QB there, but he's going to have the outside line for the next corner. Skill already fallen to the back of the field so far, but again, it's the Killzor, and now QB making his presence known at the front of the field, up in second place at the moment. Marty is right on his tail. He's just harassing him, trying to get past Jackifer with more speed, gives Marty a speed boost, and that allows Marty to go down the inside. Minor positions are being squabbled out here. Camel, who got sent to the back of the field. Monster, who's currently leading the championship so far, is going to have to do a last to first challenge in this one if he wants to pick up significant points.
Yeah, skill for LTU here, currently not able to put any kind of bananas on the racetrack to maybe let the other CCs slip a little, as he's the one trailing behind. And Darky, once again, by now I would say a familiar sight. The Belgian here on a roll, you might say, as he is currently in the lead, is going to go towards the first jump, is not going to take damage. QB, the second one here, does take it a bit slower here, and probably rightfully so. If you don't have those jumps figured out, they can be very, very dangerous, as Jackifer now going to be taking spot number 2.
Yeah, the familiar two, Jackifer and Daki, at the front of the field so far. But remember, Daki's main enemy... Oh, Monster! As his main opponent is going to be Monster, who's just taken a buttload of damage there, down to 800 HP. Mal's also getting down to 700. But Daki's main opponent at the moment is really just himself. Mal's barely crawling up the slope there. But Daki's main opponent is himself. He crashed in the second race.
Oh, and JXCR there in the back, 1200 in one single drop. And now we are coming to...
Oh, he's flipped again!
Oh!
Another barrel roll. Jakifa's also flipped.
What are they doing there?
They blame the lag, I bet.
Yeah, surely he's blaming the lag. And is on copium here together with Jakifa. As we do see, Daki is going to be making it. No HP loss. Jakifa, beautiful stuff. Marty, same for him. So all of them do make it down safely there. Daki, Humpity Dumpity once again over the stone, but is going to stay in the lead here. Question being, some of the lower HP CCs, namely JXCR mostly, how is he going to deal with that one? Monster, good jump down, but does spend a considerable amount of his remaining HP, 200.
He has lost a lot of HP, but he's traded... Oh, Orsnell could be dead here. No, he's not. He's minus 27. Somehow it's a perfect landing, almost. But Monster traded the HP for position, we might say, down to 600, but he's already up to 4th from the back of the field. A lot of the CCs going for the pink road here, trying to play it safe. But even this jump, if you get it wrong, can be quite costly. It's deceptively easy, but hopefully we can go and look at the top right-hand side of the map with the boost, which is super difficult. If you don't get the correct line, you're going to get stuck there. I don't think anyone has fallen foul to it so far.
Yeah, I think Chef was somehow driving backwards there at some point. I don't know why, as JXCR once again... Mouse! Oh, he just gets a little nudge, though, bump by skill.
Skill helps him get through. Chef going very high and wide there, just securing it. But Daki and Jakifa, they're already onto the second lap of the race. P1 and P2 at the moment. Jakifa really needs a big result here. The first two games have not been great. XCR! Oh no! He's stuck, wedged against the rock. He cannot get out of this position. He's going to try and wiggle, but not like that's not only bad for his race, but think of the other guys who are going to have to go and try and pass him on the second lap.
I mean, that might, end up in JXCR's favor, though, as they have to try and pass him, but they might get him unstuck on the way there. And so he's definitely going to need a step EBR to help him out. Oh, this game's shipped the nuts, taking a tank load of damage there as well. Chef driving down, very clean, still full HP.
Nicely done there by Chef. Daki still in the lead of the race. Jakifa, again, not too far behind him. Daki still on full HP here, but he's got to focus. He can't have a lapse in concentration. Dez now starting the second lap of the race, but he's already down to 300 HP, so he's got a bit of a challenge ahead of him if he wants to survive in this one.
Yeah, as we do see the southeastern turn here on the peninsula, that one can be deceptive as well. You see that E50M. If you try to go too fast, you might lose control because of the way that the peninsula is shaped there. I tried it earlier today and I almost crashed myself on towards the E50M. Orsnell, good jump down in towards the water. Well played.
A safe jump by Orsnell, but, going through the water, it does lose you valuable time, but surviving is better than dying, as we say that. Daki, no HP lost on the jump. Jakifa is actually down to 500 HP. We didn't see where he lost that, though.
Yeah, and now maybe Daki is not going to be the hero that JXCR wants, but possibly the hero that he needs.
It's so close, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. He's pushed XCR out of position. XCR, who is a lap down, he's going to make it out. And Daki, the thing is, he's got to go back to complete the checkpoint. So Jakifa is actually going to take the lead of the race. Daki got thrown off by XCR's stuck position. He had to change his line, but he didn't change it enough, and he didn't quite have enough speed to get past XCR in that position. And that means Jakifa's got a big opportunity to take the win here. Chef losing HP going through the water.
And Jakifa, when two people are having an argument, the third one is going to be the smiling one, and that definitely is Jakifa in this situation, as Daki relegated to do the checkpoint again. And now Jakifa jumped down here, no HP lost whatsoever, so the man in the lead currently trying to take down the points. Daki, though, not far behind, didn't lose too much time, and Monster starting to creep up in what I believe might be position number 3 as lap 1 is completed.
Lap 2 is completed.
Lap 2.
Jakifa, he made a mistake. I don't know if you noticed it, but he hit the rock, so that's why Daki is actually still relatively close despite the whole debacle with XCR. Monster is starting to show his pace and get back into this one as well. Dez is going to make it through cleanly. Nicely done there.
Yeah, nicely done, QB. taking the slower, but maybe the more safe route as Marty in the background. The first one's life to be claimed by Fjords here. But possibly not the last one. There is still 13 CCs remaining, and as we saw at the start with JXCR and also with Kaizu once again on low HP, did lose a little more there even, just as I talked about it. Some of those guys might be not long for this world.
Yeah, it's quite surprising actually. Only one CC, only Marty has crashed so far, so Marty is going to pick up 1 point for that. That's not really going to be great for his points tally. But again, the battle for the lead, it's Jackifer, Daki, and Monster in the top 3 positions. We're starting lap 3 of the race, or we're on lap 3 of the race. We've got a lap and a half to go. Can Jackifer hang on? He's only got 500 HP remaining, so he cannot really afford to make any mistakes. Daki, however, can rush things. He can take a bit more risk because of the HP advantage.
Yeah, definite HP advantage. It's not only the case in randoms or competitive, it is also a thing in EBR racing. As we do see the tight corners once again claiming another life. Mouse Acrobat, the one to drop out of it here. As we see a Jackifer driving up towards the central hill of Fjords, Kaizu and Chef battling for positions, battling to stay alive as
He's
Kaizu.
into the water.
Oh, good lord.
Jackifer has crashed.
Once again, Jackifer and crashing in the lead. Name a more iconic duo.
Jackifer, he's shown the pace, he's got the ability, but when it comes down to it, either he crashes or his PC does. This time, it is his driving skills that let him down. Daki grabs. Oh, Monster has crashed as well. So this is very much. This has to be the win for Daki here. He has to convert this. He has to just maintain his composure and pick up the 25 points. Both his main competitors. He's going for the. Oh, he's not going to make it again. He's just about getting round the rock there. But Monster and Jackifer, his main competition, both eliminated in this one. No one is close to him on track right now.
Yeah, exactly. A very, very good look for Daki, who does look to basically take back the spot number 1 in the overall ranking from Monster, who has it currently. We're going to have to wait and see now. Bonus or Joker lap for Daki coming in at the lead here. Is he going to complete it? We'll have to wait and see. And for Kaizu, that is also going to be all she wrote, as we see 2 more wrecks here in the water. So, yeah, Fjords, a lot of people got very far, but in the end, it didn't even matter a whole lot.
A lap too far for some of the CCs here. And the dead tank wrecks can be a big problem as well. You see Camel, who's just coming up now. Is he going to do the yellow? Because if he does do the yellow, he's got to avoid those dead tank wrecks. He's not going to go for it, though. He's going to play it safe. Just take the pink road. Just preserve the points. Daki completing the Joker lap now, going across the bridge. It's very easy to fall off that bridge as well and just into the water, and that is pretty much your race done. But he makes his way through there completely fine. I'm not sure. Is this the final lap, or has he got one more lap to go here?
We'll have to wait and see, but I think Daki, as soon as he passes the green line there once more, we should have the announcement for the next lap, as I think he is in the lead. We'll have to wait and see. Currently, 5 people have dropped out. Lap 3 done, so yes, final lap is upon us.
And who's in second place? XCR, we know, has been lapped because he was stuck earlier on. So is Freddy the man in P2 at the moment?
Possibly, yeah.
So Freddy, again, big points. He was quite high up in the standings so far, not winning the races or not showing at the front of the field, but just waiting for everyone else to crash and then picking up. Oh, Osno could be dead here, and he is. A bad landing, bad angle, over-rotated to the right. That's the 6th person eliminated on Fjords. Like we said, it's not as punishing as the likes of Glacier and Mannerheim line, but if you get your lines wrong, anything can be punishing in EBR racing.
Yeah, exactly. And Daki, who has shown nothing less than a stellar performance once again in the lead, is going to jump down here into the water, doesn't lose any HP, so the man has really been practicing his jumps, clearly.
And you can see he's jumping to the left as well, so he's not jumping straight into the water. That saves probably 3 or 4 seconds, and it allows you to carry speed all the way up to the next part. XCR doing the exact same thing there, so that's going to save him time. So the final lap of the race, Daki with a big lead over second place, which is Freddy. So he should just go slow on basically every section of track here. No risk of flipping whatsoever. QB is still on full HP pretty much, minus only 4. So he's done a very good job so far at just preserving his HP, making sure he stays alive, and he's going to finish ahead of all of those people that have crashed. That's half the field he's going to finish ahead of if he makes it to the end here.
If he makes it to the end, and as we saw before, that is a pretty big if. By the way, XCR, who lost a lot of HP very, very early and then got stuck, still in it. Well, maybe not to win it, but still in it, and that can be considered a success in EBR Races, for sure. Even Ducky not going for the yellow jump here anymore, probably judging that it is too risky to use the yellow when there's this many wrecks down there already.
Yeah, the objective in any race is always how can I win the race in the slowest time possible? If I don't need to take risks in order to win, then why would I, right? Just take the 25 points, consolidate. Camelita is going to have a slightly harder time doing that, though, being on only 8 HP. He is a whisker away from death at the moment.
Yeah, a whisk away from death. But maybe also a whisk away from a lot of points for him, because we are in the final lap here. And yeah, finish now. This is the command for the guy in the lead, for the one that is looking to consolidate a place number 1 on the leaderboard. And you can see he doesn't even opt for the jump here. He just does it slow and steady for him this time, winning the race. Gigantic performance on his victory march on towards the finish line on Fjords, and he's going to make it. Congratulations for him, taking down the second victory as Freddy crashes.
Freddy has crashed from second place here, so who is going to pick up the pieces? I think it's going to be Camille. Camille on 8 HP is going to finish in second place here. QB going up on the boost, almost flipped his EBR. QB could be on for a podium here. Could be on for a podium. We're in the final stages of the race right now. Also, with regards to the number of laps in the race, you would be surprised at how many people have accidentally gone on to start another lap unknowingly and then lost several positions because they just weren't paying attention.
Well, I guess, the giga brains of some of the racers just too preoccupied with staying alive.
The Joker. Has QB done the Joker? QB, well, he's going to the finish right now. So if QB, unless he's forgotten to take the Joker, QB, the British driver, is going to finish in second place.
That would be indeed a crazy performance from QB here, as we see XCR does crash. So that must be such a heartbreak for him. He lost so much HP early, then he got stuck, and now he even crashed. So yeah, definite heartbreak for it. And as it seems, QB is going to be finishing in second place here on this round number 3. Also skill for LTU, now looking to come towards the finish line, also gonna net himself a place on the podium.
Yeah, look at that podium. It's Daki, QB, and Skill. 3 giant content creators there. Kamil, the Polish superstar, is going to make it on 8 hit points to the end and pick up another P4. Again, we've only got 6 people managing to make it to the end, so less than half the field navigating their way through fjords.
Yeah, less than half the field, and it's still not done. Des Games, Ship the Nuts, and also Mousacrobat still out there on that track. Both of them not full HP anymore, and there is still some, ground to cover remaining. So if Des Games isn't too careful, then he might die there on the jump. Let's not hope that for him, though. Let's hope we didn't curse him here as Chef at the back of the pack here. Not sure if he has done his Joker lap yet. But he himself will obviously know.
Okay, he did a cool spin before he made it through the checkpoint. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but he will finish the race, and that is the most important thing, right? Just get to the end, no matter what your pace is. He's going to finish in 6th place. Good points on the board from Chef.
Yeah, indeed. Chef now coming through here, and if I was to give advice, which I know, at least in races, not the best thing, but yeah, he would be taking it because I would tell him not to overdo it here.
Imagine if he flipped there right at the end, and then he was just stuck and DNF'd.
I guess in the end, it's going to be Chef, the last one to drive over the finish line, but he does make it, so he's going to be in place number 6 of the EBR races. Congrats to all who made it. I mean, yeah, some of them drowning themselves, doing a little, artillery cosplay, I guess. But yeah, good job to all of those that finished, and okay job to those that didn't.
Someone did actually fall off the bridge and drown. We saw that in the background. I'm not sure who it was, but yeah, someone spaghetti hands on the bridge there. But the big shock from that round is QB finishing in 2nd place, and Skill as well. Skill finishing in 3rd, and that's because the likes of Jackifer and Monster, they made a mistake on the big yellow, and they both crashed there, and they both get barely any points from this round.
Yeah, so little to no points, and that does in turn mean that Daki, who finished in the top spot, is going to be netting himself an overall victory. So definite unexpected crash by Monster, but obviously not the end of the world, as this is only one map of Group A. That in turn, though, means that the entirety of Group A has been done.
Yeah, Group A has been completed, and that means that Daki goes to the top of the page with 59 points. Camel actually sneaks in front of Monster with just the consistency. He finished P3, then P2, and P4. So he didn't actually win a race, but that doesn't matter. He's still got good points on the board into 2nd place. Monster in 3rd with 52. And QB, because of that result on Fjords, makes his way up into 4th position. So a big recovery there from QB.
Yeah, also for QB there, the first round, not too shabby, coming in with 14. And right behind him is going to be Skill for LTU. And as we see with the total points there on the board, the differences aren't too crazy yet. And this now means that the current round or the full results are also here for you for Group A.
Yeah, so because Daki won that overall group, the individual points from that group, we just scratch them, they don't matter. The finishing positions, now Daki gets 25 points awarded for the Group A positioning, and now we'll move on to the 2nd group, which is Group B. And I think there's also 3 maps in that one.
Yes, so the first 3 groups, we have 3 maps each. The 4th group is going to be a singular map, only as you can see here. Group B is now going to consist of Province into Abbey into Pearl River. Compared to Glacier, Mannerheim, and Fjords, how do they stack up difficulty-wise, would you say?
Well, Province is the old, Province is an old school map just from World of Tanks, but in EBR racing, Province is like the gold standard of EBR racing. Beautiful technical sections, twists and turns, dangerous jumps, and it just goes all the way around the map. It's basically been unchanged since we started racing on it in late 2020, and it's one of the best EBR racing maps.
All right, we do see also difficulty hard. So far then we had 3 maps on hard and 1 map on extreme. Does it get easier than hard?
I believe, yeah, I believe. I'm not exactly sure about the difficulty rating, but Abbey, which is also in this group, is definitely a lot easier, although, they can crash anywhere. You can crash anywhere if you try hard enough. The big thing about Province, you see these giant yellows on the minimap. They will bite. If you get them even slightly wrong, they will just straight up knock your crew out. You will be gone, eliminated from the round.
All right. I mean, there is a lot of shortcuts. Also, I fondly remember, I think in the bonus lap here, I once raced on Province and I didn't make it up the stairs there. But we'll have to wait and see if the CCs all properly looked at the track, if it is new to them. But yeah, especially in this round now, it was very interesting to see that some of the not very experienced guys managed to come in on the podium on some of the top spots. But yeah, our 4th map, or rather our first map of group number 2, going to be Province pretty iconic. I'm particularly looking forward to the simple mechanical skill that's going to be involved with driving around, I think that is the south part of the map, like around the houses.
Yeah, it's all very twisty and turny. It's how close can you get to the walls? Just like in Monaco, how close can you get to the walls without crashing into them? It saves you valuable time. But the key thing in this one is how the first jump boost is going to go, because there's a big run down from the top of the hill, and then there's a yellow boost. And if you don't make it up on that yellow boost, you're basically going to be in last place, and it's going to be a big recovery job for the rest of the map.
All right. So this means that chaos is still a little bit on the cards as the CCs are driving into positions. But yeah, I don't think it'll be long until the race is going to get started. So Ducky, QB, and Chef going to be forming the first row here. But as we outlined already, everyone is getting a place in the first row at some point in time, and everyone is going to be in the last row as well. And yeah, I mean, the truth also lies on the track itself. Yes, starting position can maybe help you a little bit, but the reality of it is
your talent will shine through at the end as we are about to get underway. But being at the front on Province is very important here. Daki with a very slow start. QB, quick fingers indeed. Very fast reaction time there, and is in prime position to take that yellow boost as we go down the hill, knocking trees. That's going to slow them down. They've got to try and avoid them as best as possible. But QB, is he going to go for the yellow? Is he going to go for the yellow? He is going to go for the yellow. Daki's going to go alongside him. Do they make it up? They do. Skill, however, falls to the back of the field. He does not make the climb, so he's going to drop to the back.
Yeah, so QB indeed going to make it up and over. He's going to be the one in the lead. A lot of CCs also opting for the slower route, but QB there in a spot one. We'll have to wait and see how slowly he actually takes this one. Ozanel just driving past him. Good stuff by him. QB not losing HP though. XCR looking for the bonus round. Chef taking a humongous amount of damage. Monster Trap, but with the truck down as well. Ozanel there in the lead, dying. XCR once again right at the start of the race, taking so much damage.
It is complete chaos. XCR down to 94 HP, going through the swimming pool section. Camille minus 1k as well, but QB and Freddy minus 600. This is only the first lap of the race, but QB going slow on the drop down there on the stairs. That really messed up the guys behind him because they all wanted to take it fast and they had to just slow it down. They had to put on the brakes. Most people going for the pink road here, no one wanting to risk it on the yellow, but a lot of stuff has changed there. And QB has actually dropped into last place, having completed the Joker lap. I think he might have tried to do your strategy key of trying to climb the stairs and then slowly realized that that was not an option. So he was in the lead. Oh, he's going for the yellow. He's
going for the yellow. What?
He makes it. He drives into the rocks, but not significant HP loss. So now the leader, after the whole Joker lap QB thing, is going to be Monster. And Monster's already going slow on the first lap of the race on the yellow. This is not what I would have expected from him. I would have expected him to be way more comfortable with this. Jackifer showing us how it's done, as does Daki, so they're going to catch right up to the... It's the front three again. We've lost Marty, though. Marty, I was expecting so much better from him in these races. Daki going full send, trying to get past Jackifer. They bang wheels, but Jackifer still stays in the lead of the race. 1, 2, 3. Right on. Oh, and Jackifer's going down the inside. A Monster, he caught him napping, and he's taken the lead of the race as we watch Camille, Mouse, and Skill going for the pink road here.
Yeah, as we do see Skill going for the fast lap. Ooh, does not lose any HP on whatsoever. Lap number 1 done already. Freddy losing another chunk of HP. QB there dropping down, not dropping HP though. Good stuff from him.
Yeah, QB could come back into this one because completing the Joker lap early, he saved a lot of time from those that are in front of him. But the front three, they're still dueling it out. We can't see it at the moment, but they're swapping positions. Jackifer has taken lead the race. Daki having more speed than Monster, but just bumping up behind him. So he's not going to get the move done there. Jackifer has had great pace in all of the maps so far, but is just unable to convert it into a race wins at the moment.
Yeah, so once again, this trio of Jackiffer, Monster, and Darky in the lead. Jackiffer not losing HP, Monster, the same goes for him, and Darky, all of them clean racing, clean lines coming out from all of them. Not going to be dropping down here either. And yeah, very good technical skill by Darky, taking the faster route, as Mouts does get nudged by Kamil, which actually enables him to go up the yellow. So Kamil, unintentionally probably, but nonetheless good help towards Mouts, as yeah, a lot of them are going to be taking the yellow up there. Freddy, now QB, is he going to do it? Yeah, easy, no problems for him whatsoever. Skill for LTU now on his Joker lap. Kaizu, very, very slow down here. Does try to keep his HP for later when he maybe wants to invest the Mouth Acrobat. They're going down the stairs. Ooh, Freddy is going to make it.
Yeah, that was really risky from Freddy there, because with other EBR racers around him, if they just touched him while he was mid-air, XCR
that was close with XCR.
Almost crashed just there. Jackiffer's dead!
Yeah,
Again.
minus Jackiffer. So once again, Jackiffer in the lead and crashing. 3 out of the 4 maps we've seen this so far. Darky taking a lot of damage, but overtaking Monster in the process. So maybe HP invested.
Trading HP for position, just like you would do in randoms or other competitive mode. Monster, a little bit of chip damage, but Jackiffer, he must be doing this on purpose at the moment. He's building. Oh, an XCR goes flying and crashes into a building. That's the 4th person eliminated from this. And what I was going to say is Monster... Oh, Mouse drives into the building. Monster, Daki, and Jackiffer, I was wondering, are they going to make each other crash again by putting each other under pressure? And then the back markers, Skill, Kaizu, Freddy, the guys that don't have as much pace, they can still pick up the big points in this series if they keep going too fast and crashing early on.
Yeah, Kaizu there going to keep the lead against Skill for LTU for the time being, as the yellow being taken once again. Skill for LTU opting for the yellow, but does crash as well.
Yeah, he either... I didn't see exactly where he landed. He either crashed into the rock, or, like I mentioned at the start of the stream, if you land too flat, there is such a thing as too perfect a landing, unfortunately, in EBR racing. And the RNG does bite him there, so a bit unfortunate, but also expected.
And now Ducky and Monster once again battling for first. Ooh, Monster there with a slight... Is that a driving mistake, or is he just going the fast way?
That is the correct line. So if based on the checkpoints, the blue lines that we see, as long as he completes all the checkpoints, he can go wherever he wants. And he's overtaken Daki once again. Daki Oh no! What has happened? As he tried to get past Monster, he just rammed straight into the E50M. Daki now down to 145 HP. This is, I mean, you know, he's still battling it out with Monster. He's trying to go down the inside. He's losing even more HP. Now they're wheel locked side by side. He's going to have to give it up because he's on the outside. Wheel locking in EBRs. If they both go side by side and they try to turn the same direction, they will just keep driving off into the distance in a straight line. But Monster preserves the position.
Yeah, the inside light's currently being held by Monster, as we really do see that both of them are not giving an inch towards each other. Is Ducky going to go for the yellow is the question. No, he actually does decide to take the safe route now, being so low in HP. I think that probably is the sensible option, but Monster going for the slow drop here, actually, as Kaizu does fall down. Not sure why he's turning around.
No.
Maybe...
he dropped down, but he doesn't realize that that counts as complete. Oh no, if only he'd practiced, he would know that he can drop down there and it's completely fine. Camel going flying, just managing to slow it down enough to avoid the E50M. But that was a smart choice by Daki to give up the fight with Monster, because Monster is always going to have the HP advantage there and probably preserve position. Daki realizing that he should just play the long game and play for P2, because again, look at the gap to them and the rest of the field. Freddy is the man in P3 and he just drove straight into a rock. And Camel's like, thank you very much, I'll move up into 3rd place.
Yeah, exactly. Now, even QB coming very, very close on towards Freddy. So that single driving mistake there in lap number 3 for him, costing him dearly. Carmelita, though, not going to go for the yellow here. Is QB gonna do it? Yeah, indeed. He thinks he still has enough HP. for it, and no kill notification, so he didn't drive on towards one of the wrecks. Once again, that couple in the lead there, Monster and Ducky, both of them battling it out. And Monster having lost some HP here, but obviously Ducky is the one who needs to be extremely careful. Monster, is he going to send it? Yes, indeed. Same for Ducky. Both of them very, very well. Monster, though, having still to go for the bonus round, but so does Ducky.
And Ducky's crashed again. Monster is going to be in the leader race under no pressure. He's just got to get to the end now. He's got a massive gap behind. Ducky unnecessarily risking it. He could have just tried to slow it down, because how is he actually going to beat Monster when he doesn't have the HP to challenge him on the yellow drops later on in the lap? He should have just played it safe, played for the long game like we saw him doing earlier on. But I think just a rush of blood to the head, just going full aggression, thinking that he can get the win. And now it's going to be an easy stroll in the park through Province for Monster.
Monster here looking to lock in that victory number 2 as Chef crashes. Minus 1k, crashing also his hopes and dreams of finishing this race here on Province as Kaizu there. I mean, Kaizu, for some reason, it seems like Kaizu always loses a lot of HP, but then manages to sneak through, eh?
You know what it is? It's like in randoms, when you make a bad trade in the beginning of the battle, you lose all your HP, and then you decide, okay, now I'm going to try. Now I'm going to focus. I bet that's what Kaizu's doing, because he always seems to be on low HP, but in most of the races so far, he has made it to the end. Monster taking the pink road. It's just a straight line to the finish now, and it's going to be 25 points on the board.
Yeah, and Monster there doing a beautiful job. Still has 850 HP left, so a lot of them to spare. Could have even probably finished a bit faster here on Province, but he is going to be coming in as the victor.
Look at the chat though, Key. Kaizu has missed the checkpoint. Does he see it? Does he see the message in the chat? If he's missed the checkpoint, he's gonna have to go back and complete it. I think he's driving down the hill now. It's not really going to matter because he's already in last place, but if he goes back and completes the checkpoint, he won't get disqualified. Meanwhile, though, the battle for P3 is still kind of going on, but Freddy's got a bit of a gap to Camille, and QB is he's going to go for the yellow. Is he going to risk it? Oh, no! And he lives!
He stays alive!
He does a full
he's not
rotation.
going to be overtaking Camille, but yeah, what a show from Quickie Baby here. Doing the barrel roll after the landing, magically staying alive. Man is basically Neo at this point.
Yeah, if he went for the second yellow, he could have gotten past Freddy and Camille right at the end, but I think he might have been a bit traumatized after doing a full flip in the air, and just consolidates P4 in the race.
Yeah, no, we do see in the chat that the person who managed to win the race had a disconnect, but he seems to be back, seems to be all fine. And now Mouts and Des Games, the two to battle it still out. Mouts here, looking at the E50M, looking a little bit scared, and obviously, if you ram that E50M with an EBR, that is not going to be a healthy thing for you. Des Games, ship the nuts. Seemingly in a place number 5 or 6, not entirely sure, as I think another CC has just finished the race, and now only Mount Sacropod, Des Games, and one more of them remaining.
But no one's gotten lapped yet, and I think that that is actually quite impressive, especially Kaizu. Kaizu has not done any practice at all. He was literally setting up an EBR on his press account just before the races started, so the fact that he has managed to not get lapped, and actually like survive and not get lapped, is really impressive.
I mean, some people just have a talent, and Kaizu seems to be one of them, as we see Mouts choosing to go a very, very safe route. And also, big shout out to Des Game here, who is still full, or almost full HP. That is not something you see very, very often in the EBR races at the end of a map.
Yeah, he's done a good job, just kept it clean, stayed alive, and that's going to be P5, I believe? P5 for Des, so nicely done there.
P4 even.
No,
I think there's...
Freddie drove off the side of the map after he'd finished the race.
all right.
He's very eager to get to the next map, you know.
Well, he is going to be netting himself a lot of points.
Did you see Kaizu? He just drove towards the finish line. He's like, wait, can I go here? Oh, no, sorry. I've got to go all the way back through this section over here and then to the finish line.
Yeah, he's like, I must go. My checkpoints need me. But now the finish line is going to greet him, and it is going to conclude on Province here. Once again, 6 plus Freddy, I guess, make that 7 people surviving, so more than in the first group of maps.
Yeah, Province, they did very well. Again, the guys at the front, they've got all this pace, but they just kind of lose control. They just go too fast, take too much risk, and they crash. Daki and Jakifa are the ones this time. In the previous round, it was Monster and Jakifa. I mean, Jakifa, just in general, just in every single race, pretty much, apart from one where he finished P4.
I mean, yeah, and it's not going to be a big result for Jakifa.
Oh, a disqualification.
Monsteo takes the 25 points. Disqualification means missed...
he missed the checkpoint, Mouse, because he made it to the end. So he must have missed a checkpoint somewhere and it doesn't officially complete the race.
Oof. So harsh scoring here from Mousacrobat. But yeah, Freddy there netting himself a comfortable spot number 2. Camille is going to complete the podium. And after that, once again, QB coming in with quite solid performance. There's games Kaizu, Daki after Daki there with the crash, but still in the upper half. And then obviously Chef, Skill for LTU, Jakifa then once again who had crashed in the lead. JXCR who had once again lost a lot of HP early and then died early as well. So yeah, and then Marty Marty is not really having it right now, is he? And then Arsenal and Mounts, obviously.
Yeah, Marty's really underperforming to what the expectations were. He is a regular in normal season EBR racing, right? So it's just not going his way at the moment. But there's a bit of a theme occurring at the moment where the top guys via pace, one or two of them crash, and then Camille, QB, and Freddy just seem to keep picking up these consistent results, just chipping away at it. And the longer this goes on for, the better chance that those guys have of finishing higher at the end.
Yeah, and now from Province, we're going to yet another Mediterranean map. It is going to be Abbey, and the difficulty says easy.
Yes, so this version of Abbey has been altered to be more inexperienced player friendly, but it really doesn't matter because you can crash anywhere. The key thing to watch out for on this map, you see the yellow line right through the center, through the Abbey. That's actually a wall ride, and if you don't make that, you can get stuck in the middle, and not only is that bad for your own race, but that means that everyone else behind can no longer take that section of track.
Well, so we're gonna have to wait and see if they're going to be making it over, as all of our content creators that are participating are lining themselves up to go into the starting area. Bit of confusion seemingly going on, but I am pretty sure we are going to resolve that very, very soon. The E50M here in CD8, we'll have to wait and see. I think that is shortly after a little turn that you maybe have to do there. So going to be interesting how all of that is going to go.
Yeah, that turn is, in my opinion, it is single-handedly the worst turn in EBR racing because you cannot take it with any speed at all. And if you get it wrong, you fall straight into the water. So not only is it a turn that's horrible to drive, but it's also deadly.
Oh, maybe we'll see if the turn claims the lives of more unsuspecting victims. As, 4 laps. It's going to be ready. It's going to be set. And it is going to be a go time. Off go the CCs towards the races. Now Marty there in the lead before the first turn. Is he going to be able to solidify that is the question. QB not far behind him. Carmeliter as well. XCR towards the right. the field very tightly packed with a lot of tanks right now.
Yeah, Marty in the front in the bright red EBR there. Camel is going down the inside though, and Camel is just edging out in front. Optimal lines being taken here. You want to avoid as many bumps as possible and press that, smash that W key as much as possible. Monster getting spun out a little bit. Freddy getting caught up there, and Freddy hitting the rock. That's going to slow everyone else behind, causing a bit of traffic jam. So it's Camel, Marty, Skill, QB, Daki, and Jackifer in the leading pack at the moment, but Daki getting slowed down by QB and Skill coming together, and Skill and Daki falling even further through the field.
And now Kamilita going to jump down here, going to take 500 damage. Jackifer going to make it without damage. Now QB, all of them getting nudged together. Yeah, not sure how exactly that one's going to go right now, but slowly but surely they're going to trickle down this section of the track. Arsenal having the worst of it, losing a lot of positions there. Ducky and QB immediately going for the Joker lap. As Jackifer going for the quicker route here, it seems. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to make it up. Experienced Racer as Mouse Acrobat in the back there, falling to his grave. Quickie Baby seemingly having done a good job of keeping himself safe there. And now Des Games coming around. Skill for LTU also with the bonus lap. And so far, none of them seem to get stuck. Ooh, we'll have to wait and see.
No.
Kamil!
Oh, he can save it. He's still up. He's still up. He's still up. He's gone through the checkpoint though. He doesn't need to go. He doesn't need to go back through the checkpoint. He just drove through it and then he went back through it again. So Camille dropping from the lead of the race into about P4 seems to be some confusion over when they have or haven't completed the checkpoints. But the field spread is pretty big at the moment, and that's because the likes of QB, Daki, Dez and Skill, they've all completed the Joker lap, and Dez has not made the climb here, and that could block Skill, and it does, but he helps his friend up, and Skill's going to have to go back and do it again. We've lost Arsenal in the meantime, though.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal was complaining in the race before this one that, yeah, he would like to have this without fall damage, but once again, he's going to be one of the ones that fall to their grave. QB makes it down without taking damage, though.
I think Daki getting slightly frustrated by QB's pace at the moment, because you remember earlier in C3 when they all tried to drop down, QB was causing a big traffic jam, but he's going for the wall ride. Does he make it? No, he doesn't. He hits the wall. He hits the building, and that's going to cost him valuable time and positions to Kaizu and Daki. Is he going to make it second? No, he's not going to make it second time. He needs to turn more into the wall so his EBR actually turns sideways, because at the moment he's just driving into a gap that does not exist.
Yeah, and I think he sees the error of his ways, trying to go for the wall right here. Does now drive around as Marty and Jackifer do the jump down here. Marty probably getting turned a bit by Jackifer, right? Sorry. And yeah, Marty is immediately like, oh, my bad, my bad. So you can see definitely firm and friendly handshakes all around by some of the more experienced racers. Jackifer taking 26 HP, but in the grand scheme of things, that is not a lot. Is that Jackifer in the lead again? He needs to be careful not to crash.
Yeah, it all seems to be afraid of holding on to lead position. You should just let Marty go into the front of the race at the moment. Marty going up on the yellow, doing some sort of flip. That's why taking the yellow is not necessarily optimal on this map. So Jackifer still holds on to the race lead, but Marty for the first time is actually showing some pace in EBR Racing. The first time we've seen him battling it out for the win. Jackifer making his way past the E50M, not crashing into it. We've got Freddy in third position, under pressure from Monster at the moment. We've got some more CCs going for the Joker lap. That's Chef, XCR, and Kaizu now. But Jackifer, oh no, he's hit the wreck, and Marty goes back into the lead of the race. Orzenel's wreck costing Jackifer the position there.
And now Marty in the lead is going to attempt the wall ride. That was failed by QB, but I think he did make it through. Yeah, he did, as Jackifer opts for the long route. And now we'll have to wait and see who's going to be the next victim that will be claimed by Abbey. Freddy, very, very likely, because look at the amount of HP in the top right that he still has remaining. QB there attempts the jump, does not complete it. Skill for LTU coming in, seeing that he is not going to be able to make it up there as well. Both of them going to try and redo this here as Chef at the very tight turn of the E50M is going to make it through. Same for XCR. Des Games coming in there, does make it through as well. Kaizu, the next one to make it through.
And he does, just about. Went a little bit wide at the corner there, but manages to make his way through. They've got to try and do a good job at avoiding Orzenel's wreck here. You've got to go for a slightly wider drop down. Kaizu going with the speed, nicely done. I feel like the more races that we do, Kaizu is just getting naturally better at EBR racing. It's like he's doing his practice in the actual races at the moment. As I say that, he just turns into a building. Forget everything I just said.
Carsticus once again in full effect as Marty and Jackifer there, I think, battling for what might be the lead. Jackifer going with the safe route, safe option, as Marty looking to complete it quicker. He does make it up, but does slow down considerably. So it takes some more time to complete it, but obviously the yellow route is going to be the faster one. So Marty overtaking Jackifer in towards the E50M corner.
Yeah, so Marty, I think Jackifer actually has more pace than Marty, but Marty is taking both of the yellows. He's taking it on that climb up there that we just saw, and he's doing the wall ride in mid. And that's just allowing him to just stay in front of Jackifer, even if Jackifer is faster on the rest of the map. Daki could be flipped here. He could be flipped. He's stationary. Marty's crashed from the lead of the race, and Daki's on his roof. The positions... It's all been turned upside down, quite literally. And Jackifer, his luck might finally be turning here. He has a massive opportunity to convert a race win for the first time.
Yeah, it seems that XCR just crashed Monster. Not sure what went on there. And Daki apparently did get flipped or unflipped once again.
Yeah, that's Freddy who helped him out there. So Daki should be thanking his lucky stars that someone opted to help him out. Freddy, especially with Freddy on 24 HP, he could have actually killed himself just by ramming into him.
Yeah, and now XCR, the one who did end up crashing Monster, who was not very happy, as Daki crashes as well. So once again, one of those very, very experienced drivers falling a victim to the map here. And yeah, Monster happily or maybe unhappily, but chatting away. Oh, and Carmel is also gonna die. So yeah, that is 4 wrecks down there. Freddy, I think, doing the correct thing and driving around that, avoiding it, as Des Games is going to go very, very, very slow. Does succeed in not crashing.
Ooh, okay, I'm not sure you can even go faster anymore because there's just a wall of dead tank wrecks of CCs who have all crashed in the same place. Jackifer is in the lead. He's now going for the Joker lap, but look how far ahead he is. Who is even in second place? There's a battle going on in the middle of the map right now. Freddy's in there with only 24 HP. We know that for certain, but Jackifer, with such a big lead, he cannot throw this away now. He just needs to go grandma pace literally everywhere, and he will still win.
Yep. Chef there going for the quick route is going to make it before XCR. QB there still on almost full HP, so still has a lot of that resource to toy around with. Yeah, as you said, the same cannot be said for Freddy here. Down towards 19.
Ooh, why would he go for the yellow? Why? He could have... Imagine if he flipped, Key. Imagine if he flipped just like Daki did. He's so far ahead. Why would he go for the yellow and not play it safe? I don't understand. It's like he wants to lose.
We'll have to wait and see as he does go through the E50M corner here. Does do so comfortably. Skill for LTU. Not going to take damage here. XCR for the first time in what seems like a while. Still on a lot of HP. Towards the end of the race. Kaizu going down there. Ooh, that was interesting to say the least by Des Games.
That
Freddy
was style points for sure. Freddy has gone from 24 HP to 19, so not really much change in his hit points. But look at Kaizu. Kaizu is currently in second place, and that's because of all the crashes that have occurred so far in this race. Kaizu is in second. QB is up into... Wait, is up into 4th place?
Oh,
Chef! Minus 700 there. It's not over until it's over. You can crash anywhere. But for Jackifer, all of the horrors, the obstacles are gone, and he finally puts a big result on the board, gets 25 points to the checkered flag. But who is going to finish in second and third?
That remains the question, as Jakafar, for the first time, is not going to crash in the lead. Instead, is going to convert it into a victory. Now, XCR and Skill for LTU battling it out here currently, as, they're both going for the yellow one here. Are they both going to make it up? Is the question. No, as XCR fails it. Essentially, creating detriment for both of them. But this should now be an easy way for Skillful LTU to overtake XCR. He does line it up. XCR not going for the short route here anymore. Instead is going for the long one. Skillful LTU does make it up. So him having the yellow line, that should mean that he overtakes XCR at this point in time.
Skill just gaining a couple of points there for that extra position. Chef almost nosediving into the ground, but just about making it through. So at the moment, it does look like Kaizu is going to be the second place finisher. Then we've got... oh no, QB! What has happened? He's flipped! Is he flipped? He's flipped on his side! Is Chef going to help him? Is Chef going to help him? He is.
It seems like he is going to, yeah. So the young Hungarian helping out QB. Very, very good karma points for him here, certainly. We did see Ducky earlier not helping someone and then crashing, so maybe you can, negotiate a bit with the gods of crashing RNG.
Yes, it's always nice to have karma points in your back pocket, and Chef is going to finish ahead of QB anyway. The Hot Rods sticking together in this one as a team.
Exactly. A lot of these CCs choosing the Hot Rod style.
No. Oh no.
Is XCR stuck?
I think Skill was stuck, and then XCR boosted him back through, and now Skill's like, okay, the race is over anyway, I'll help you. Imagine if Skill gets stuck now.
Well,
imagine if he gets stuck now.
I think Skill realizes he can't really help him. Oh, he's taking...
No, he's getting a run up. He's going to have speed. He's going to push XCR. Okay, that's smart from Skill. He doesn't try to do the wall ride at the same time as pushing him out. He does one thing at a time. And now XCR is waiting. He's waiting to see if Skill makes it through, which he doesn't. So he's going to have to go... Is he just going to keep trying it until he eventually makes it through? It's not like it's going to cost him positions.
And he is going to make it through here. So, XCR did not end up waiting for longer, as Freddy is going to crash, but after the finish line, which does mean the race counts as completed. And now XCR here and Skill for LTU, the last two, they're probably looking to maybe drive over it together, as basically both of them helped each other multiple times here, as XCR... Oh, they're trying to be so nice to each other. Look at them.
They're trying to fix the points, but because they're both engaging in it, I don't know actually what happens here, because normally if you try to let someone through to further their position, that will be deemed as fixing and the positions will be reversed. But given that they're both engaging in it, I don't know what the protocol is here. Who actually gets to finish first? This is a fascinating end to this race. Skill is trying to shove XCR, but he dodges it. Doesn't want to finish.
Yeah, Skill getting baited here by XCR into the better position, but yeah, very, very sportsmanlike by everyone involved here, helping each other over the finish line of the EBR Races 2023. And that does mean map number 5, I believe, concludes here. And a lot of people were still alive at the end, so surprising stuff.
Well, the map was rated easy, and, Abbey... Like I said, it's not, you can crash anywhere, but relative to the other maps, they don't have these big RNG jumps. You've just got stuff like the wall ride for the racers to contend with.
All right, hopefully that means we are going to see the scores and results for this round. First of all, Jakafar netting himself the first dub of the EBR Races. Kaizu coming in as a close second, so the person that probably has the least training out of all of the 14 contenders, showing that sometimes you don't need to train, sometimes you can just show up and show up big. Des Games still a spot on the podium, then Chef, QB, Freddy, Skill, JXCR, Carmelita, the next one. Actually, Carmelita was pretty quiet throughout most of the races, and in Group 1 he did very well with that, not showing up so hot here in this round number 2, but on Province he still had 18 points, which leads us to a total score that is tied currently in the lead for this Group B.
Yeah, Jackifer finally getting a win on the board. But, you know, the pattern is reoccurring. It's Jackifer and Daki, they either do really well or just crash. And, you know, winning is good, but it's better to finish P3 in every single race and just keep the points consistent, just keep it going. Up next, we've got Pearl River, which is another one of my favorites. A lovely balance between technical sections and high-risk yellow jumps. The yellow jumps really do bite if you get the landings wrong.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I do believe we should be going into the next round here rather soonish, as we do see the map video. And honestly, a shout out to Svitman for designing all of it. I believe he does even hold some contests where people are able to decide design racetracks by themselves. Not sure exactly which map we're going to see of those. But yeah, it is a lot of work, a lot of time, but also a lot of fun for everyone involved.
Oh, Sitman loves doing this stuff and creating EBR races, and we're very grateful to him for all the work he does. You're right about the map contests. They happen every time we do a regular season EBR race event. I have tried multiple times to get a map approved on maps that aren't usually used in EBR racing. I tried to create one on Tundra and tried to create one on Oyster Bay of all maps, but they did not get accepted. The map contest winning map will be the last map of the day. That's Corellia, which was designed by Black Prince, a fellow EBR racer.
All right, so definitely a very tightly knit community. As currently the only thing that's remaining is going to be, basically the go sign. This time it's going to be Jackifer, Mouse Acrobat, Kaizu, and Chef that are going to be in the first line here. Monster still lining it up there at the back. And now, I guess we are just about to start. Nope, QB still not there. He's trying to figure out where he needs to go.
They've assigned their starting grid positions via the EBR Race Discord, so they're always just checking to see what number they've got. Jackifer, interestingly, look at Mouse. He's not going in the spot next to him. So Jackifer, the first corner is a sharp left hairpin, which means that if he gets out of the first corner home free and he shows some pace, it could be a lights to flag victory here. But obviously, now that I've just said that, he will crash immediately.
We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen as the round of Pearl River is going to get started. A good start here by Jackifer. So at that sharp left first turn, he should have a pretty good time. You can even go out of speedy mode there sometimes as a lot of chaos ensues, but Jackifer is going to take the victory for now.
Oh, Camel getting pit maneuvered and somehow saving it. Doesn't fall off down the slope there. But Jackifer, Camel went diving in like a torpedo. He almost got taken out of the first corner, but there's chaos at the back. XCR skill getting caught out. But once again, it's Jackifer and Daki in P1 and P2. Getting away early with good pace, but will they choke it again?
Will they choke it again as Kaizu currently the one in place number 3 and Mouts, Kamil and a lot of others still fighting for the lead here as Daki challenging Jackifer for that first position here. We can see Daki ever so slightly catching up again. Sharp and big drop here. QB does make it down as well, and we can see a little traffic jam of the EBRs as Jackifer crashing in the lead. I mean, yeah.
He types okay in the chat like he doesn't understand, but I saw it from a mile off. I said he was dead before he even landed. He nosedived so hard into the ground, just got it completely wrong. And once again, Jackifer has crashed. Name a more iconic duo with him and EBR Races. The rest of them going for the Joker, a lot of the field going for the Joker Lab. QB leading that group over there.
Ooh, humpity dumpity for QB as well as he drives into the stone but rectifies it, sort of. So that means QB, Marty, Freddy, Skill, Des Games, Camille, and Freddy, tries to take a shortcut, is going to get punished for it.
2 German superstars down and out in this one on the very first lap, and Daki has pulled away. from who's in second place at the moment, I'm not sure, but Daki is pulled away. A nice line there, going wide on the drop down, carries as much speed as possible, and then up through the middle section on Pearl River.
Yeah, the middle section also a part of the map that can be quite tricky, but also only if there is a lot of other people to essentially challenge you. So when you're alone like Daki there currently, it can be very, very nice to drive. That being said, with Freddy and Jackifa out, Daki driving there away. Where's Monster? We would normally expect him in this kind of leading pack, but somehow it doesn't seem like he's been able to do that. Currently, Marty Volek, QB, and Des Games are choosing to go down very slowly here, and probably rightfully so.
Yeah, the back marker group at the moment, they've opted to take the Joker. Oh my god, QB has crashed as we just looked away. He is out of this one. The third person eliminated, just took the jump wrong. Chef, that's not a good line, but if he goes slow, he'll be fine. No problems there. Skill also somehow still manages to drive into the wreck. And Skill with more speed goes straight past him. Daki already onto the second lap, getting the Joker lap done early because he probably recognizes, you look at the gap behind him, he can actually do... Oh no, he's driven into the red line though. That's going to cost him valuable time here. But I think he's recognized that he can do the Joker lap early because the gap behind, he's still going to come out in lead the race, especially because Monster has also decided to copy him.
Yeah, Monster, XCR, and Kaizu all going for that Joker lap. Arsenal not doing that currently, so he's going to be in second place for the time being, actually. But maybe he still has to do it. So, yeah. Daki, though, hanging on to that lead. Monster not going for the yellow jump. Seemingly that's too risky for him right now. And now Marty there going down the yellow road is maybe going to be overtaking Mouts. No, Mouts is still going in front of him, very much in the lead. As,
Kaizu's flipped. He's flipped. How has he managed to flip there? Kaizu getting a helping hand from Marty. Mouse is on his roof as well. But the sportsmanship hit... Oh no, Des has managed to... He's going to reset the timer though, so he's got plenty of time to get Mal's facing the right way up. And now they'll continue racing alongside each other. Skill's going to go for the yellow though. Does he know how to do it? He does! No HP lost. Very good driving there from Skill.
Yeah, and Moutsacrobot there giving a bit of time towards Des Games to now take the lead from him. I mean, that's always very nice of you to do that when, you know, you were otherwise flipped and dead.
He's going to fall off. He's going to fall off. And he's flipped. Oh, what has happened? He's done a full rotation, but he's fallen off the side of the map. Kaizu has crashed. In the meantime, we were saying that Kaizu is being very consistent, just making it to the end. And now he is crashed out of this one. Daki, meanwhile, we didn't see it, but he's lost a whole chunk of HP down to 351. And Monster is there once again. He's going to start closing the gap because he's got the HP. You can see Daki going slow on the drop down there. Monster is going to be looking to convert this into first place.
Yeah, Monster looking to convert it here. As we do see Skill taking it very, very slow. Also has lost a lot of HP already. There's Games doing it fast and not losing any HP. And yeah, we can see Skill. He really wants to finish this race. Yeah, all of them now driving towards the middle section of Pearl River. But yeah, all of them seemingly able to do a good job. Chef jumping down, not going to take damage either. Daki still in the lead there, and ooh, XCR there in the back lines has crashed.
XCR decided to risk it, go for the yellow. I think that's probably the first time he's actually risked it on one of the yellows, and he immediately dies, so he'll probably think better of that in the future. But the field is so spread out right now, and that's partly because of pace and partly because of Joker lap. But Chef going slow on the drop down. Daki half a lap ahead, going slow on the drop down. Still just ahead of Monster. Monster is he's not quite closing the gap as fast as he would have liked. I would expect him to be a lot closer here. He can afford to take more risks with that HP advantage. But at the moment, Daki is holding strong in the lead.
Yeah, Daki holding strong, holding on to the lead. currently. And so far, it just seems to me like on Pearl River, yeah, the distances in between the tanks are quite
he's
big.
going to go
That
for it
being
again.
said, though,
Watch,
games...
watch. Oh, he could be dead. And he is.
Oh, so minus skill for LTU in this race, and Des Games with the very adult decision of, not going for the yellow, not going for those additional points, instead going the safe route. It's going to net him a few additional points, as he's at least going to be finishing in front of skill for LTU.
Chef has fallen off the side of the map and is unable to climb up somehow, so he's going to take a bit more speed, and he does make it this time, but not before Des goes on through and gains another position there. We're on the final lap of the race now. I think we might be about to see someone get lapped for the first time, which is honestly surprising. I really thought that a lot more people would be getting lapped here, but the guys have been putting in a fair bit of practice. But Daki, I believe, is lapping someone currently. I'm not sure who it is, though.
We'll have to wait and see. Des Games once again with a clean jump, followed by Chef, who takes 340. But at this point in the game, I think it's not too bad to give up a bit of HP to, just at least try to keep the distance towards Des Games close and hopefully profit from a mistake or two. As, good lines there around the stone. Also, going out of speedy mode sometimes helps when trying to do those tight turns and then going into speedy mode directly again. Des Game's going to jump down here, not going to be losing HP. Chef going to be doing the same thing. Good job by both of them.
Yep, Des and Chef just making it round, starting their final lap now. But the battle for the lead, Daki on 300 HP. He's almost at the end here, but I'm not sure if Monster's got enough. I think he's out of time. I don't think he's going to get close enough to put Daki under pressure, because he needs to be close enough to force Daki to take risks in order to preserve his P1, but he's not close enough. I think Daki is home free now, and it's going to be another race win.
Yeah, it's going to be another W for him, as we do see Des Games this time as well not going to go for the speedy one, instead the slow one. Very adult decision making once again by him. Chef doing exactly the same thing. I think both of them at this point in time realizing that, better safe than sorry. And Daki, congrats, another race win for him. Coming in with his own special little camo as well. Obviously, some of the guys in the races here will have their own camos, proudly applying them. Personally, I'd go for the hot rod style regardless, but hey, who am I to say? But yeah, the second one that's going to be finishing is a Monster. So once again, coming in at a close second here. Both of those tryhards there, once again securing spots on the podium. And Des Games not going to be making it up here. Is Mr. Chef going to do it? The answer is yes.
Chef gaining another position there. It's all going to matter in the end with the final positions, but Daki delivering on the promise. He's the most experienced person in this field, and he might not think he practiced loads, but relative to the others, he has practiced quite a lot, and he delivers another win here. But Des making it to the end is responsible driving EBR, very sensible, just finishing the race, unlike those in the back. Jackifer, Freddy, QB crashing on the opening lap as well. Kaizu didn't have a great time in this one.
Yeah, not a great time for them, but you can see in the chat a lot of, friendly lines being exchanged in between all of those, thanking each other for unflipping, thanking each other for getting each other unstuck, because I think the biggest opponent in the EBR races are not the other drivers, it's actually the map.
Oh, it's yourself, really. You're your own worst enemy in terms of whether you crash or not. You are the master of your own destiny, whether you flip your EBR. Des saluting the rest of the field. He's going to do another lap around the rock. Won't get disqualified for that because he's passed the checkpoint already. Finishing in style across the line. Yeah, oh, he's not last, actually. Sorry, Mouse. Mouse was the first person to get lapped after 6 maps, I think?
Yeah, this is the 6th map. So, but obviously he gets the chance to complete the race as well here, and we can see him just trying to play itself. By the way, if he now crashed, it wouldn't really make a difference, would it?
Well, he would still lose points, but he would get the same position that he already has. He would just
but
lose
he loses
points.
points for crashing. Okay.
So it's still to his benefit to finish the race, even if the points that he's on offer are not very much. But the hot rod style, it sounds beautiful, the engine sound. I really wish we had that on the regular EBR.
Well, I guess need the style for the sound of it, as once again we do have another race completed. The last contestant that's alive crossing the finish line here. That means Pearl River, and that also means group number 2 of the maps is going to be completed.
Yep, that's Group B done, so now we move onto Group C, of course, which I don't know if that has 2 or 3 maps in it, but the further down we go, the final group of the day is Karelia. So Karelia is the most important of all of them. It's one shot of glory, all the points on the table. Daki takes the win, 25 points. Monster finishing in second, 21. Marty finally having a good showing, finishing in P3 with 18 points. Camille again, the consistency, picking up P4. He's done a very good job of that so far throughout this series.
Yeah, and this in turn means that we should be looking at the round results of group number 2, which is going to tell us a lot about who is going to be netting himself
it's a
lot
tie.
more. Right now Pearl River points not yet updated, but Daki is definitely going to shoot up in this ranking. Mouts, once again, a disqualification.
Yeah, Mal's missing another checkpoint, unfortunately for him. But if it is a tie, then it will be your next best. It will be your best results weighed up against each other. But as you can see right now, Kaiser and Freddy have the exact same scores before Pearl River has been applied.
That being said, Pearl River obviously going to be the decider. In between those two, we'll have to wait and see when we will be able to update the map group scores. But obviously, it's also time to talk about the overall scores, especially in the context of... and there we go. The Pearl River points get applied, and it's going to be Monster to take the W in the group, followed up by Des Games, Camille, Daki, Kaizu, Chef, Freddy, QB, Jackifa. Not really the greatest of showing despite having a victory, but you can see 6 points and 2 points. That's what crashing does to you. And this now means the full results for the group still going to be coming in here with Monster in the lead, followed up by Daki, but it's so close, 43 to 41 to 39 points. So that group at the top there, really tightly knit together, with Camille being really quiet, but being really successful as well.
Yeah, Camille going under the radar, just chipping away at it, putting in the points. Des has had a really good showing in a Group B as well. He was actually second in that, so he moves up to 4th position, only scoring 9 points in Group A, but QB is also up there in P5, and then it just sort of falls away, and then we have the crashes. We've got Chef, Skill, Jackifer, Freddy in there, and then at the bottom, unfortunately, XCR, Orzenel, Mao's not having a good time of it.
Not having a good time, but maybe they'll be able to turn it around in what's coming, and that is going to be group number 3, Group C. So I guess let's take a look at the maps for the groups here. Nebelburg Outer, followed by Klondike East, Klondike West. And in case those maps don't mean anything to you, well, that's because those are the Grand Battle maps.
Yeah, Nebelburg and Klondike are the 30v30 maps, which is why you might have not heard of them ever before. And the whole Klondike East versus West thing, there's actually 2 circuits mapped out in the mod, which is why we have to race on that map twice. But Nebelburg can be pretty deadly. We are looking at Pearl River.
We are looking at Pearl River soon, but yeah, I guess we will have Nebelburg soon as well. Nebelburg Outer, so there we go. Obviously, 30 versus 30 map. That means the map is pretty big. Difficulty medium. Whatever that means, because we saw a lot of people crashing on easy maps as well, but yeah.
Well, it's because if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, there's this long straight, so like the thing about Nebelburg is that it's unlike the maps like Fjords or Province. We don't really have these technical sections anymore. It's more just about drive in a straight line and then do a jump, and then drive in a straight line and do a jump. It's still difficult because you have to survive the jump, which is useful, but the rest of the map is kind of just a big old loop.
Big old loop, very reminiscent of some of the Formula One, I guess, race tracks, you could say. I mean, there is like city tracks, there is open tracks, and here Nebelburg definitely coming in as one of the open ones for the EBR races. We should clarify, it might be confusing for people, that there's an inner circuit of Nebelburg, which is also mapped out on the mod, so that's why the whole track just looks higgledy-piggledy and just all over the place, but they are only racing around the outer circuit. Yeah, so the longer sections are going to be the ones that do actually get played, as we see the CCs driving towards the starting line, and yeah, as soon as all of them have figured out where they're going to go this time, that means, yeah, we should be ready to start. Obviously, we still need the Sheridan to ring the bell as, yeah, the CC's about to start racing in this first map of group number C. I believe Nebelburg, normally a summer map as well, but obviously the EBR Racing mod, that, by the way, you can freely download, is going to make it nice and cozy in a winter style.
But look at XCR's grid spot. Because there's a rubble pile there, he has a nice downward boost at the start here, so it's going to give him a nice little speed advantage over those in front of him.
Yeah, some friendly banter still going on, but the Sheridan having arrived means that we are about to get this group number C started. Also, very interesting how the tanks are being displayed because it is a grand battle map. Now we're not going to be able to watch like the individual HP anymore for the time being. But yeah, let's go on Nebelburg.
Monster on pole position, has the inside line for the first corner, so he should be home and away in this one. They're going very wide. What a skill and Des doing. They're doing a bit of tomfoolery around at the back there. I think they're just going to stick with each other and try and make their way through without flipping. But it's Monster at the front, again with Daki there, and Jackifer, Freddy at the front alongside his German comrade. But Monster and Daki leading the charge once again. They're top two in the standings. They're top two in this race. Freddy is going with them, but they're all scuffling for the minor positions at the back there. Marty and QB have opted to go for the Joker lap on the opening lap of the race here. Joker lap here is not particularly complicated. You just drive around a couple buildings, but if you're at the back of the field, you might as well get it done early.
Yeah, so QB,
no,
Marty...
he's flipped! He's flipped! How has he flipped there? He must have driven out, and Kaizu is ramming him, trying to flip him back over. He does manage to do so. QB must have hit either a bump. You have these really random...
Look at the HP that Chef just took. Down 1100 HP. But yeah, he must have hit some kind of small little bump that then completely escalated into him flipping. But Kaizu there to help a homie out is going to unflip QB, and Ducky once again in the lead here with Freddy behind him, Kamil and Monster not far behind either. So the field's still very, very tightly packed.
Yeah, Monster was in the lead, but he's dropped a couple positions there, so he must have made an error, or he got bumped from behind. Chef is definitely not cooking in this one. He's down to 329 HP already on the opening up, and Freddy is even lower with only 200 HP. I'm sure he'd take 300 HP right now.
Yeah, he definitely would, as that would more than double his HP. And XCR once again. Talk about XCR losing a lot of HP, minus 1300 for them there. Marty gonna go down there without any problems. Des Games?
He's dead. No, he's not. He's alive on 30 HP. Skill doesn't do a barrel roll in the same fashion. Kaizu is up next, who's down to 700 HP already. He's crashed!
Kaizu there crashing, so sometimes not having the experience really does hurt, and I think QB just took the advice that Kaizu gave him by crashing there and takes it slowly, but is going to overtake him. More points for him as... yeah, Yeah, Ducky seems to be in the lead, does make it up here as well on the quick track, on the yellow route. Next checkpoint for him. Freddy not far behind, but very low on HP. Kamil has a lot more than that. And yeah, you can see Ducky outside of the racetrack, but he's not missing any checkpoints, so he's fine.
Yeah, he's going away from the purple road, but as like we said, as long as you drive through all the blue lines, you can go wherever you want. And that line that they're all taking is generally the safer one. Not only is it faster, but it's also safer for your HP. XCR with only 55 HP, going down with a bit too much speed there, a bit reckless. Orzanel almost slipping as well. You see they're bashing the rocks and it's getting their EBRs thrown about all over the place. But we've got a lot of people on low HP after only one lap, but only one person has been eliminated so far, and that's Kaizu. And he didn't get good karma points after flipping QB back over.
Well, maybe good karma points for the next round. This game's also extremely low. 30 HP. Needs to be extra careful whatever he does here. Oh!
Okay, he's got even less now. 30 HP didn't seem like much, but it seems a lot more compared to 6. And now he's realized he's got to go back round to drive through the checkpoint, so he's not eliminated. Daki going full speed on the stairs jump. He makes it without losing any HP. The practice is paying off right now, and he's pulling a gap. And the bigger gap that you pull to those behind, it gives you the safety to go slow in the later laps when you don't want to risk it.
Yeah, Ducky here firmly pulling ahead of everyone. And now we'll have to see over there what the people are doing at the other parts. Oh, Marty also off screen, just crashing here. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that, as Ducky is just doing a beautiful job of EBR Racing. Monster there saying, oh, sorry, towards Marty. And now we'll have to wait and see. Chef there not moving at all.
It's like he's trying to, he's ticking over. He's trying to figure it out. How do I drop down the stairs without dying? Freddy makes it down the first level, and now he's going to take the stairs, so he's fine. QB going ahead of Chef, so gaining enough position. That's the slowest overtake possible, but then going over the rocks. Their skill goes flying in, and minus 1k. It seems like caution is the best thing to do here. We've got wheel locking between Freddy and QB. Freddy pulling away from that one and just letting QB take the position.
Yeah, once again, Ducky here in the lead on the long straights here in the southeast of Nebelburg, and their Monster in a position number 2. Behind him is a Jackifer, and it seems that this game's shipped the nuts. He has crashed as well. Kamil Eater there coming in. But you can see the HP disadvantage, meaning that he sometimes just has to take it a little bit slower. He was in position 2 a bit earlier, but now Jackifer and Monster both able to overtake him. And now the next difficult positions here. QB not taking any damage, but Freddy needs to be so careful. Down towards 175. Skill for LTU does make it past him. Freddy is also going to make it down.
He nosedives straight into the ground, but somehow he lives. These guys at the back, they're just sticking together. They've got a pact. They want to make it to the end. The guys at the front are pulling way clear of the rest of the field right now. But there are some bumps, even on this straight. I guarantee you someone's going to hit a bump there. You see where Mals and Orzanel and XCR have just gone through? There's a bump. There's a little dirt pile bump, and for these EBR racers, they're not quite as experienced, so they might not be paying attention, and it's very easy to just drive over that and flip your EBR.
Yeah, once again, now the leading group here in the picture. It's not really a group. They're not tightly grouped up, but obviously Jackifer, maybe even Kamil would be there to exploit any kind of mistake Monster makes. All of them obviously taking the route over the bridge, which is going to mean that they're not as slow as if they're going through the water. XCR there, very, very low HP still, but hanging on by a thread. Now QB in the hot rod in style as well is going to drive down here, is not going to attempt any kind of jump. 22 HP, that's not a lot to pay though.
No, that's a very insignificant amount of HP loss. Freddy can't really afford to make the same kind of mistakes. They're gonna, oh no, they're going side by side. They could flip here. No, they don't. Jackifer minus, oh, he's dead! Again, Jackifer crashes out. I was going to say earlier, I didn't want to be toxic, but I was going to say that Camel's already in third position because we know Jakov is going to crash, and the prophecy has come true once again. Camel moves up into P3, Monster in P2, but they're so spread out, the only way they're going to lose or gain positions is surely if they crash.
Yeah, I mean, don't do anything. Just wait for the opponents to make mistakes. Seems to be the name of the game for Monster here, and now being in position number 2, a very good result for him. Orsnell driving down once, driving down twice, and that second one looked very risky.
That was borderline death right there, but he just about had enough speed to not just go straight into the ground. XCR coming in with a lot of speed and then deciding nope, and Mao's going full send, lands on a tank wreck. QB has figured out his own line, which seems to be working for him. That's quite efficient. XCR going to lose another couple places there, but that was expected because with only 55 HP, he just cannot afford to send it like the rest of them.
Yeah, he cannot afford to lose any kind of HP anymore. Daki once again in the lead. Clean racing from him on Nebelburg, and honestly most maps that we have seen, so a masterclass performance by the CC from Belgium. We're gonna wait and see, is he going to do it? Easily going out of speedy mode to gain more traction is going to make it up here, so not missing a beat, the man in the lead.
He's not missing a single point of HP either, so he's very comfortable right now, but as we know in EBR Racing, it can all change on one micro input. You just turn slightly to the left, slightly to the right, you jump a little bit too far one way or the other and your race is done. But at the moment he's comfortable in P1, has a big gap behind him, but it is his rival Monster in the championship. Monster still in P2, so he's not going away here. Daki would have been oh my god, Freddy again doing the exact same thing he did the previous lap, somehow not crashing.
That was so close with skill for LTU. Is Mr. Chef gonna do it? Yeah, that didn't look as risky for Mr. Chef, but man, skill for LTU and Freddy, both of them playing with fire.
Daki now completing the Joker lap. Like we said, it's not very difficult, but he managed to avoid the mysterious object that QB flipped on earlier on lap number 1 of the race. So I'm lost on what lap we're on. He almost missed the checkpoint there. He went all the way to the left and then cut back at the last second. Makes the drop down now onto the stairs jump, which I believe is for the final time. I think it's the final lap of the race. Is he going to go full speed? He will. Does it cost him? No.
Perfectly played by Daki there, showing why he is in the lead. Very good job. Distancing all of the others, you might say. He's going to go on in towards the long section again, and now critical times are upon us as Freddy and Skill, both low HP, both below 200, and both about to be in front of another place where you need to drive down and be careful. Freddy only turning sideways, but is going to survive. Now the next one here, Skill, also taking his sweet time to do it.
Mind the rocks.
Is going to make it down as well. Chef also not looking too healthy anymore. Takes a different route. Seems to be faster. Seems to make it through fine.
Yeah, these back markers just trying to hang on, and they will be hoping that the guys in front race each other a bit too hard and then take a bit too much risk and crash out so they can pick up some nice easy points, because they're not really going to be fighting anymore in this race. It's going to be QB, Orsnell, Mals, and XCR, the guys that... Oh, and Orsnell is not in that fight anymore. He has crashed. Another victim on the stairs jump. He did not make it through.
Yeah, and Mouse Acrobat, seemingly, I think he has made it down as well. And XCR, how is the man doing it? Staying alive on 30 HP on a slither of what the EBR has in total, especially with HP modification. And now Freddy, for him, dire times as well at the stair jump. He's not going too fast here. Whew, that was scary.
Yeah, he thought about going for the second jump, and then he was like, "Oh, there's a flight of stairs there. I can just take that instead." Pretty convenient. How will Chef get on? Ooh. Oh no, he could be dead here. Skill goes straight over the top. What a move that was by the Lithuanian.
I mean, Skill for LTU definitely in style with that overtake here. And XCR, I mean, he tried so hard, but he does end up dying. And I think that was the 4th round here, so we do see Ducky completing the race once again. Another tournament victory, once again with his own style applied. So a good job for him. Monster there, probably going to come in as a 2nd, but he is not done yet.
Yeah, Monster picking up another 21 points if he can just make it through the final drop. But these guys at the back, they're the ones that are really under pressure here with such low HP. Freddy has finally figured out that that line that he was taking was not the greatest skill. Still goes for it and gets away with it again. How does Chef get on? Again, no HP loss from these guys on that jump, but they're going to maintain the exact same order they've been in pretty much for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, exactly. As Freddy makes it through the next checkpoint, Camille driving down the side of the road here as well. QB, very, very healthy still behind him, so a lot of HP.
Camille's going to be P4. So Camille's going to be P3. Oh, QB! Oh my, somehow he's fine.
Somehow. We almost saw a quacky baby there.
Bit of rock climbing there, going to finish in P4. And Mao's is going to finish in P5. I think that's Mao's best performance so far in the series.
Yeah, Mao's not having had the easiest of performances here. Still has to make it down. Is going to do it. And now Freddy is going to make it up there. Needs to make it back down. Behind him, Skill for LTU coming in together with Chef as well.
Yeah, these guys at the back just doing their thing, just taking the grandma pace, getting the points on the board. You got to finish the race. That is the first most important thing. And Chef, again, this line is not good, but it works out for him anyway, so he will finish.
Yeah, he is going to finish the race as well. Skill for LTU coming in before him, and now Chef is going to complete the finish line. So that means Nebelburg is going to be done. The first map of group number, group number C, or number C, well, of Group C, let's just call it that, being done. Once again, good performance by many of them that did manage to finish the races, but it seems that time and time again, the maps seem to claim the lives, and some names on that kill feed just keep popping up. XCR, Jackifer, those kind of guys, they're coming in hot, but it seems like their engines are actually overheating off.
Well, Jackifer is just too hot everywhere. Just goes straight in, just goes flying in and crashes on almost every map. He's got a race win to show for it, which is not bad, but he's not having a good series at the moment. Kaizu was the first person eliminated in that race, and you can see, unfortunately, that yields only 2 points on the board. Marty at the bottom there in 3. But the guys at the top, once again, it's this familiar story. It's Daki Monster and Camille once again just chipping away at it. He just keeps putting in those P3s, P4s, and QB as well. QB keeps getting these nice, consistent results. 16 points on the board again. We should mention Mao's, I think it's his best performance so far in the group stage.
Yeah, and definitely those consistent results, you mentioned it, I think that is very, very important coming into all of this, because consistency is going to help you out more than, burning bright and then burning out. We saw Jackifer getting around wins, but we see him crashing more frequently. Being consistently in those 3 and 4 spots is just going to be the name of the game. That being said, we are now headed to the other Grand Battle map. So from Nebelburg, we are headed to Klondike. And first, we are going to be racing the East track there.
Yep, doing Klondike. There's 2 circuits here. We've got the East one up first, and it's quite a unique track. We've got a neat little jump that goes over a boat, which I always in commentary call the bridge jump and get corrected. I still don't know why I call it the bridge jump, because it's just jumping over a boat, but it's a neat little circuit. Plenty of places for people to crash, plenty of places for people to flip, just like any other EBR racing map.
All right, so Klondike East, the next map that we're going to be racing on. How difficult? I mean, it says medium, but then again, we had like 6 to 7 people even crashing on the last map, which was Nebelburg, and that was also medium.
Well, the thing is that the easier the map is in terms of difficulty, usually the more people risk it. So then it kind of balances out, and the same amount of people crash on every map anyway. But in terms of pure difficulty, this is definitely one of the easier ones. But again, you know, if your pace is good, you can save a lot of time on this map.
Yeah, and so in we go into Klondike East. You can see how the coloring of the ground basically goes on towards the tree as well. Nice little side effect of the mod. I particularly like the pink ones there. Would it catch the orange color now as well? Oh yeah,
yeah,
we do see on the bottom right.
You get
it
orange
catches
bushes, orange trees. Even get yellow. You got the yellow trees and yellow bushes up there as well. But what I also love about Klondike East is that you've got at the start, you've got these really nice turns, a nice sequence of turns, and they're all going to be jostling for position as they try to swerve their way through those. It's a really nice way to start the lap.
All right, so once again, the CCs are driving towards the start and a finish line here. Going to line themselves up. Only a singular E50M in this game to block on this map, or to, you know, maybe take some HP.
Interesting though, Key. Daki is on pole position. And I know the whole front row is pole position, but again, being in the grid slot that has the inside line for the first corner is so important. It's so useful because it basically makes it impossible for you to get tagged and spun around at the first corner. And the first corner is a turn to the right. Monster is right behind him on the grid, but he's just taunting. Oh no, he's actually... Oh, is he going to be on the front row as well? I think he's just realized that he was in the wrong spot.
Maybe read something wrong here. Obviously, the fallen trees are making it kind of difficult to see who's standing where exactly. But as the Sheridan has arrived, this means we are probably not long for the start of the round here.
I love the question from Orzano in the chat. Has he ever derped someone at the start with the Sheridan big alpha gun? But the reason it works that way as well is if you don't want to be as far forward as possible. It sort of prevents people from cheating with their grid spot because you don't want to get shot by a Sheridan before the race has begun.
Yeah, well, ready, set, and almost an early start by one of the EBRs from the back. But yeah.
Camille almost getting a jump start driving into the second grid slot, but Orzano and Daki side by side in the front row. Are they going to get through the corner? No, Daki turns late, and that means he gets caught by Orzano. That is his own fault there. He turned so late into the corner. Orzano had nowhere to go. They wheel lock, and they get swallowed up by the chasing pack, and it's Camille, Mr. Consistency, on the front row, at the front of the field right now. Jackifer, the choker, the professional choker, and Freddy there as well. And Jackifer, oh my god, there's all kind of chaos going on. XCR does a flip. He's just doing parkour in the middle of the races right now, and the order has changed again completely. Marty now goes into the lead, but he immediately throws it as well. And now Jackifer's back up to P2 somehow. After all of that, Monster takes the lead of the race.
Yeah, Monster taking the lead. Jackifer a close second, then Marty and Ducky battling it out. Currently not clear who's going to be winning that engagement.
Candle's going for it.
And Camille does send it down and takes a lot of, or not a lot, 139 skill for LTU with the same thing, takes 0 for it actually. So is going to neatly tuck in between QB and Freddy here as Monster and Jackifer not giving an inch towards each other. Both taking the yellow, both going to complete it. Ducky, no problems either. Camille behind him. So currently clean and good racing by everyone.
Yeah, Monster and Jackifer just ahead of the rest of the field. Daki has somehow made his way back up to P3, so that's a very good recovery in the opening of the first lap, despite what happened on the first corner with Orzano. Everyone else going slow, some of them going wide, taking slower lines here. It's going to be... Oh, Marty's dropped to the back of the field as well. I wonder what happened to him. I think he might have gotten spun around or something.
Yeah, indeed. As Monster now currently in the lead, followed by Jackifer. Daki losing some HP on that jump down there. Not sure what Kaizu.
Oh, he doesn't know because he hasn't done any practice. He's just like, where do we jump, guys? Where do we go? Where do we go? He figures it out now. He follows someone else through, but it's going to cost him quite a few positions in this one, and that is why practice is turns out practicing is pretty useful in all walks of life.
Yeah, now we do see that there is a sharp right turn that does completed by Camille as well. Mr. Chef coming towards them too. Now, Freddy, the next one. After him, Marty. So far, no one has crashed.
We're on the first lap of the race, remember, and, you know, it's a medium difficulty track. Oh, Jackifer getting hitting the building and then pit maneuvering Daki. On-track collision between those two there, but the top three at the moment have been the guys that relatively have the most pace, but they don't always convert it to the win. They sometimes crash, they sometimes push it a little bit too hard. And then there's Camille in his natural habitat in P4, just doing the job.
Yeah, and now QB getting caught up there a bit on the boat jump. XCR is not going to complete it as well. Daki, oof, that looked dangerous, as Camille completes the jump as well, so catches up a bit towards Jackifer too. We'll have to wait and see. Are other people going for the yellow here? Marty opts out of that one. Goes for the purple one. Is going to be slower. Freddy looks himself like he wants to do the jump. Takes 140 damage for it. And now Monster once again in the lead. Ducky was able to distance Jackifer a bit, who is now in place number 3. And Camille once again, Mr. Consistent, in place number 4.
Oh, the Lord himself is not blessed when he takes the yellow drop there, down to a sliver of hit points remaining. Still no one has been eliminated from the race, but QB looks the most likely so far based on the HP that he has lost. But Daki is starting to take more risks in the race so far. He's taken the yellow going into the second lap because he knows that Monster is his main competition. It's basically a private 1v1 out in front at the moment, and he knows that he's got to do everything he can to catch up to Monster and put him under some pressure so he doesn't have an easy lights to flag victory.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Monster is obviously not going to give Ducky a lot of room to work with.
He's flipped. I can see it already. He's fallen off the side of the pier. And will anyone help him? Marty is the next closest person. And he almost falls off himself. But he elects not to help Jackifer. So Jackifer doesn't have any homies at the moment. Maybe someone will help him out.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. No, and you can even see, sorry, Fabian, because Jackifer is called Fabian. And there, Mr. Chef seems to want to help Fabi. So Jackifer is going to be put on his wheels again, is going to be thanking Chef.
Another flip tank. Mal's getting bumped through. And there's a traffic jam going on because he can't turn the corner. He keeps driving into the building. He's still losing positions. He lost about 6 places there, but he manages to finally get unstuck. And Fabian actually managed to, Jackifer, get made up a couple positions there because of the chaos caused by the traffic jam. Chef just clips the building there. Des just fails to make the boat climb. You've got to line it up perfectly because if you clip your wheels in the EBR, you do not have the correct angle and the speed to make it over the gap there. But Daki, in the meantime, we weren't looking, has actually gotten ahead of Monster here. He probably did it on the yellow jump at the start of the lap, but he's taken the lead of the race. He's controlling his own destiny. Monster versus Daki in the championship. And there's Camille still hanging on in P3, and he's got good pace in this one as well. He's not too far away from them.
Yeah, he's not too far away, so any kind of mistake that Ducky or Monster make, he'll be there to exploit it. Marty currently in position number 4, racing behind them. And once again, Ducky finds himself in this 1v1 here. Monster must have done something wrong to let Ducky in front of him. Both of them not going for the Joker lap this time. Now we'll see how cleanly do they actually get to race this one. Well, both of them very, very good stuff. But it seems to me like Daki was able to pull ahead a few meters.
Yeah, Daki gained just a little bit of time there, just being a little... Oh, and Chef almost flipped us just as soon as we cut to him. That was almost camera curse rather than caster curse there. QB still alive on those 56 hit points that we saw him lose at the very start of the race, or going into lap 2. XCR going full speed is going to go very wide at the corner though. Can he get ahead of Dez? He's got so much more speed than him. They're almost going to go side by side, but he just cuts across in front of him. Still no one has died in this race.
Yeah, no one has died yet. But as we are spectating some guys here across the jump, Arsenal there, only 40 damage taken. QB down towards 50. XCR not going to crash him. Oof, but he is going to overtake him because QB getting a little bit unlucky there at the bottom of that drop down. And now Kaizu and Skill for LTU make it past the 50M Carmelita minus 700. Ouch.
Yeah, that yellow boost can be very RNG. You can do it plenty of times in practice and have absolutely no problems whatsoever. And then one time you do it and you die kaput in one hit. And I'm definitely not speaking from personal experience. Daki in the lead of the race still. Monster in second. Camille in third. Down some HP though, so he's going to drop back in terms of pace. But still this private 1v1 going on at the front of the field right now.
Yeah, Ducky and Monster still battling it out. The two of them, Ducky safely making it as he does. And Monster catching up a bit, but at the cost of 425.
He's showing some pace. He's trading the HP away to try and get any sort of advantage because there's not too many places where you lose those hit points on Klondike. This yellow jump is the main one, but Kaizu makes it through. A little bit of wheel spin, loses some time there, but makes it through the yellow. Okay, Daki is going for the pink road. Oh, and he's driven into the building. And he's driven into it twice. That is costly. Monster is going for the Joker lap now. Monster is going for the Joker lap, and he's... Oh, what is Daki doing? What is he doing? Where is he going?
I think Ducky just realized that he has to do the Joker lap as well. Not entirely sure. Is going to be driving a very, very weird way as Carmelita, yes, does the Joker lap as well. I think Ducky just forgot to do the Joker lap here, honestly.
Yeah,
he just forgot.
He forgot. He was too zoned in, too tuned into his EBR racing, and just forgot to do the Joker lap. And that's only going to cost him, I think, one position to... Camille, does it lose another position though? Did he drop one to Marty as well? So Daki goes from the lead of the race down to P4, XCR minus 530, but it's the final lap, so it's not going to be too consequential here. QB with the 56 HP, he cannot afford to get this wrong. He will die as a result of it.
Yeah, QB doing a very good job of staying alive. Just as I say that, he almost falls to his death there. A little nose grind by Des Games.
That was a nice handstand by Des there, and he didn't lose any HP for it either. Monster has basically received a gift in this one, taking full advantage of Daki's mistake. He forgot to do the Joker lap, and Monster claims victory on Klondike East. He's going to pick up another win here, and that could be costly in the championship, and that would be a very harsh way to lose it. Imagine you drive so well, you win so many races, and then you lose because you forget to do a Joker lap. That is horrible.
That is indeed horrible. Now.
It's like a car. Oh, it's the same house. It's the same, and he's fallen off now, and he's got to go back to drive through the checkpoint. Mouse just really likes that house.
Yeah, Mouse. Let's just say we're getting content out of it here, as QB does overtake him here. Now, is Des Games going to attempt the ship jump? It does not look like it. As Mr. Chef turned himself around there, no one close to him.
Wait. Where did Skill crash?
How
is he crashed there?
A good question.
What?
Well, what?
What? They're crashing in a section of track that's just a straight line. They must have driven over a bump and flipped. How are they crashing there? Two of them in the same place.
That is a good question. And the question, in fact, is so good that I do not want to spoil it with my answer.
Yeah, some driver errors going on there. I'm sure they'll blame lag, like always. But the final position's just being sorted out here. We've got to loop back around, and then it's a straight line to the finish. But only two... Oh! Okay, that might have been how they crashed, but he drove into the rock much later on to the point where they crashed. And it could cost Des positions here. Orzanel, he's coming with the speed. He's trying to go around the outside. QB down the inside as well. The final positions. Can we need to see who's going to come out in front? We can't see.
Monster out there barely making it. He's going to be the last one to complete the race here, but he does complete it. And that means that on Klondike East, we only have 2 DNFs.
Yes, it was a medium difficulty map, and the two crashes as well were the most bizarre crashes I've ever seen. They didn't crash in any That's another one you can add to the list. I always say, that people crash in all kinds of different locations. I've never seen anyone crash there, and now we can add that one to the list.
And you can even see in chat, Aussie writing, almost wanted to write GG, nobody crashed, but yeah.
I wish we could get a replay of that. I don't know if that's possible, or probably not, but I'm sure there'll be clips of it revealed later on this evening.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, every single one of the participants that you see is actually like streaming and driving and POV streaming their racing experience on their own streams. So definitely there will be footage of that from the streamers that you can review. Don't hesitate to check out all of them, but I think we are currently the only stream that basically gets the complete experience, not from a POV, so there's that for you. But other than that, let's take a look at the points for this round. And once again, Polska Górom, as Monsteo and Karmelita find themselves on top.
It's a Polish 1-2, with Marty, the Czech, in third, 18 points on the board. Marty's finally starting to get back into this, but again, it was so costly for Ndaki, and he actually lost 5 positions even. I thought it was 4, but he even lost a position to Freddy. So he went from 25 points down to 14. So he threw away 11 points there with that forgetting to do the Joker Lap. That is a massive amount of points.
Yeah, not going to be happy about that one, but at the end of the day, he has no one to blame but himself, really. And this means that after Nebelburg, Outer, and Klondike East, Monsteo finds himself on top. Karmelita, second place for him. Ducky, the third one. Freddy just behind. Freddy also, he was pretty quiet in like the first 2 groups of maps, but now finding himself on a 4th spot here in group number C. And after him, the Lord himself, you named him Quickie Baby, coming in, scoring 14 points this round. Then Marty, Mouts, Chef, Jackafa, Osnal, Kaizu, Skill for LTU, and Des Games and JCR. Yeah, I really want to know where they did crash.
Yeah, Skill and... It was Skill and XCR, right? Both at the bottom with 3 and 2 points respectively as a result of the weirdest crash ever. They must have... What must have happened is... Because there's like a bump. It's like a slight incline, but they must have like turned sharply to the left or the right, because I don't know. I'm really like, I'm trying to imagine how they would have managed to flip there, and I just don't know. I don't know how it's even possible.
I am afraid I'm also not really going to be able to answer it, but please guys, don't hesitate to check out their streams and find it out by scrolling back in the VOD. And that now means from Klondike East we are headed towards Klondike West. Difficulty easy, but then again, we've seen that even in the most inconspicuous of places, there can remain existential threats.
Well, there's two big jumps that we've really got to watch out for here. One of them, I can't ping, sorry. The big yellow, it's very RNG, I would say. Big threat there, and will people want to risk it? It saves a lot of time. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Although this looks like a lot of height differences on this track here, and those obviously can be detrimental towards all the participants of the races. If you want to do that yourself, by the way, we'll be providing Svitman's Discord, so the Discord of the organizer of the EBR Races, who is another one of our CCs, and there you can download the mod yourself, you can train, and most importantly, if you want to, you can participate in those races, because they do happen fairly frequently, right?
They happen roughly every 3 to 4 months, so we may do it maybe 2 to 3 times a year. I was going to mention something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes. Also, in the regular season EBR races, you get really cool camos, which are unique to only EBR racing, pretty much. So you get these nice transparent camos, and you can paint them whatever you like, and you can put the unique decals on them. So that's definitely a very strong motivator for why you should sign up for EBR racing.
All right. So we do see the CCs once again lining up here for this third map of Group C that is going to determine, in the grand scheme of things, maybe already some of the ratings for winning or losing. We'll probably be rating the winner of all of those after, so feel free to also spread the love there then. First of all, we'll have to wait for the Sheridan to announce the start of race number 9.
You remember, this is the final race of group number 3, and it's your best 3 of 4 group results. So Karelia, like we said already, it's going to be so important, that final race, because it will determine everything pretty much. It's not over until it's over. 4 laps of racing on the Klondike West circuit. Ready, set, and they are off. XCR on pole position, got the inside line for the next corner, but it's very tight in here. Expect a lot of wheel locking. Already people getting tagged. Kaizu doing a bit of a wall ride there. Chef falling to the back of the field. Kaizu is still stuck on the edge. Daki and Monster, the championship rivals, go side by side and just wheel lock straight into a building.
Yeah, and XCR, the guy who crashed a lot of the other times, does look good in that prime position, being followed by Ship the Nuts. That is Des Games, Mouse Acrobat behind him as well, being followed by Skill for LTU and Carmelita. The first jump of the race. XCR makes it through.
Oh, no.
What is happening here? Mouts taking 741. Daki and QB falling over each other. Is QB stuck there is the question. Freddy does make it down, but crashes. Oh, a lot of victims here claimed already.
He makes it down, but unfortunately not with his life. I think someone stopped right at the front there, and then everyone just piled in behind Skill, and he was just sort of pushed down, even though he didn't want to actually go. Kaizu apologizing to Freddy there, claiming responsibility. The back marker's very slow and off the pace here. We've got XCR, who's in the lead of the race. The Spanish superstar is finally showing what he can do at the front of the field. Daki moves up into second place because he took the yellow. We didn't see them actually doing that jump. XCR going for the Joker lap in the lead of the race. I'm not sure this is the best decision. Daki is actually going to follow him. Marty has missed the checkpoint. He's going to have to go back and complete that. Skill also following them onto the Joker lap. XCR going very wide at the corner there. You've got to slow it down and release the W key as you go over that one to maintain your EBR upright so you don't flip over. Mouse has lost almost all of his HP down to 570, and Jackifer claims provisional lead of the race, and provisional because the only reason he's there is because the Joker lap runners went so early.
Yeah, the Joker lap runners, Daki and XCR, both completing it. Skill for LTU and QB looking for that Joker lap as well. And now we'll just have to wait and see. Ooh, Kaizu there, almost flipping.
He's fine. If he flipped there, and Marty has crashed there of all places. He is the second person eliminated from this race along with Freddy back to the garage. But it's Jackifer and Camille currently in P1 and P2 at the moment. Daki showing a nice line there, carrying more speed than XCR. He's going to go around the outside. Is he going to get the move done? He's got the racing line. XCR is going to have to give that one up. Kaizu flipping around as he tries to drop down. Camille going slow on the big drop there. You can go kind of half speed. Mal's going full send and he's going to die, and he does. 3 people eliminated from this race. Jackifer and Camille now going for the crane turn. This is one of my favorite parts of EBR racing on any track. This turn is so difficult to get done without spinning it all the way around and losing a lot of time there, but Monster showcasing it perfectly, gets around it. Dez doing a bit of a wall ride but gets through as well, and Daki is close behind him, recovering positions after completing the Joker lap.
Yeah, and the wreck here at the bottom of this jump obviously signaling to everyone that maybe it is better to just take it slow, take it steady, and just survive at the end of the day. Chef and Skill for LTU both making it down without any problems. Skill for LTU there. Also a good job, that being said. Loses a bit of speed there. Chef with a better kind of job at this tight turn there around the crane. Daki driving down, loses 500. Des Games behind him, 700. So once again, this jump taking a lot of HP.
Monster.
Oh, God.
Monster as
900.
well, minus 900 down to 200 HP. And that could be critical, right? Monster leading the championship right now. He's got to stay alive. It's too early to crash because you're not going to pick up many points. Only 3 people eliminated from this one. Chef takes a hefty 400 HP. Minos, and who's that? It's Crash. It's XCR. Oh no, it's gone from hero to zero. He was leading the first lap, and now he is out of this one.
XCR once again down and out of the race. Is going to be the 4th tank to be dropping from this one. Mr. Chef there and Skillful to you taking it really slow, but if people like XCR just keep on crashing, that means they are going to be edging ahead in the points department. Ducky, I believe, here firmly in the lead, and I think he already has done the Joker round. Keep that in mind. Monster now completing his Joker round. Des Games going in towards it as well. Same for Kaizu. And Jackifar, we haven't heard from him in a long time, but he's still very, very comfortable, very high HP. Same can be said for Carmelita. Actually, is he in the lead right now? Because he's ahead of
He
Jackie.
is in the lead, but look at the gap. It's like the gap between Jackifar and Daki is the thing to keep an eye on, because Jackifar has not done the Joker lap, neither has Camille. So although he's in the lead right now, he's going to have to keep the pace up if he wants to come out in the lead after having done his Joker lap. Skill now going on to one of the easier jumps, but we have seen people crash here. Like I said, people crash all over the place in very peculiar ways.
Yeah, now the next group of participants, the racers coming in. This games needs to be very careful even at this jump down below 200 HP. Kamil, not with a clean race, is going to drive against the crane, does make it around it though. Daki not far behind, looking to catch up as well. But as we said, Daki already with the Joker lap. Kamil and Jackifar still both need to do that. QB, down towards 216. What happened there is having to be very, very careful with this one as well.
Yep, QB down to 200 HP. He's already at the back of the field, unfortunately, and with Grandma pace, he's only going to get further away from the guys at the front. You've always got to hold on and hope that the guys in the front of the field will just risk it too much and crash. Dez is another one of those guys. He's going to be hoping that, but he's got two almost full HP racers behind him, so he's under pressure to maintain that spot that he's in now. He's going very slowly, and Kaizu full speed nosedive into the ground, and that is another resulting crash. I said it's very difficult to make that jump full speed. The best thing that you can do is go half speed, which is where you just get to the drop and then you release the W just before you go down. So you get this nice downward sloping terrain which just cushions your EBRs full and you don't lose any HP.
Yeah, Jackifar now going for that Joker lap. Kamil, I think, still needs to do it. Daki, we know that he has done it already. Monster, I believe, has done so as well. Jump there by Jackifar. Is not going to take any damage. And Daki is going to be claiming the lead again.
He's not as far ahead as I thought he would be, though. Dez just making it down with not very many hit points. Orzno is going for the slower option, which seems to be a bit more reliable, although he almost nosedived into the ground and crashed full HP, though. That would have been rather unfortunate. How is QB going to tackle this, though? He's figuring it out. He's going to go... This is Grandma pace extreme right now, but he's not going to catch them anyway, so it's smart decision-making to just go slow. Now he's like, okay, where can I drop here? Can I go this way? Does that count?
Ooh, yeah.
Interesting strategy.
I mean, can't fault him. He didn't break any rules there, so is going to stay alive. Well played to Quickie Baby in that situation. And Daki in the lead, followed by Jackifar and Monster here. Does have a bit of time to work with. I would say that's around 5 to 7 seconds that he currently has. Is he going for the quick option? No, he's also going to take the slow route. What does Fabi do? He also takes the slow route. So Jackifar saying to himself, well, I rather net myself the points for second place than crash again.
Might as well risk it for another win at this point. Make it a full house of crashing. Although he's got the one race win, so it can't be full house. He drives into the building. Monster in the meantime, though, 4 HP.
Yeah, 4 HP. If any of the jumps will look at Monster in a wrong way, even breathe or sneeze on towards him, he might want to take
a leaf out of QB's book on how to do that next jump at E1, because that one is very difficult. It's very likely that he could crash there if he goes full send.
And Orzenel crashing somewhere off screen. So Klondike once again claiming the life of yet another CC.
Hold on. Look at Daki. He's going pink road. Jackifar, he could take the win here. No, he's not going to go for it. Why does he not risk it to take the yellow? He could have taken the lead of the race, as we watched Dez just very, very gingerly making it down on the drop there, but it's Daki against Jakifa out in front. Jakifa, he could have sent it to try and take the lead of the race, but what they are within one gap, like one tiny mistake, and Jakifa could catch right back up to him on the minimap.
Yeah, Jakifa looking to catch up to take that W down, but currently it seems to me like Daki's still in that lead. We now see Des Games, who needs to be very careful. Jakifa trying to trade HP for time here, so is on a very, very aggressive pace. The same cannot be said for Monster, obviously, because Monster on that amount of HP simply cannot afford any slip up anymore, and I mean that quite literally. Carmelita and Skill for LTU there in the back, still very healthy, as Des Games makes it down. 11 HP lost for Mr. Chef. It's going to be 267. But both of them still alive and kicking.
Yeah, but look at it at the front. Jakifa, he's hustling. He's trying to get past. He's trying to shake Daki off the racing line here. He's going to go tight on the corner. He's going to tuck right in behind, but he gets some airtime. That's going to slow him down a little bit. Daki pulling a little bit of a gap back to him now. Monster in the background still on 4 HP. He'll be hoping that these guys crash on the final obstacle here, which is the jump that they've got to do again. How fast does Jakifa go? If he could send it over the top here, if he wants to try and clutch victory, but no, he's not going to go for it. He's going to consolidate. Maybe the crane turn. It's very difficult, very technical. If you get too much wheel spin, Jakifa could take advantage of a mistake from Daki here, but Daki goes very slowly. Oh, and Fabian, he does it. He does the spin that I said. He tried to mode switch too quickly, tried to put his foot on the accelerator too fast, and spins out, so that battle for P1 is done and dusted.
Yeah, the battle for P1, almost decided, as Jakifa writes there in the chat, but now Des Games and Chef, both of them still in it to, well, finish it, I guess, as Daki is going to net himself yet another victory. The biggest problem he is having, I think, is the consistency.
Whoa! Wicked.
Almost a self-kill by Chef, and Jakifa gonna come in as a second place, so at least for this round, he's going to be happy. In the grand scheme of things, probably not too much, but here Des Games and Chef racing up in towards the next corner here. Chef having the inner line, though, looking quite good, but Des Games, I think, still with the advantage. What are they going to do at the jump is the question.
Well, Des has gone slow every single time. To Chef, Chef sends it, and he makes it. He makes it with the half-speed drop, but then he drives straight into the wreck, so Des could have an opportunity here. Des has got more speed, so even though Chef made the move, he hits the wreck. Someone has crashed in the background. They already finished the race, though. QB, the final person in the race, just going to finish. He's still going to get those points ahead of the 7 other people that crashed in this race. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. He's flipped, but he's okay.
Well, QB going to be counting his lucky stars here as he does make it above. But yeah, I believe the kill that was done there by Skill happened after the people had already crossed the finish line. So NHF, no hard feelings there, as Des Games and Mr. Chef are going to make it further in towards the finish line. The goal for them here and now to collect those points. They are going to be collected by both of them. Chef driving in there, and now only QB remaining out on the track. Does make it down. Almost drives into the factory there, but things are looking fine for the CC from a Great Britain. Does drive up here, so doesn't take it close towards the corner, as the observer is trying to have a lot of fun with trying to follow the action extremely closely.
He's too fast. He can't keep up with the hot rod EBR. QB, he's in last place, but he's not actually in last place. Like I said, he's finishing ahead of half the field here, because you've still got to make it to the end, and that is exactly what he did. There was no point in risking it when he was already such low HP, so valuable points being consolidated here.
Yeah, and you can see he just avoids any kind of obstructions on the ground, so clean
I think he's got
racing.
PTSD from the Nebelburg game where he flipped on some random object, so he's like, oh, just void everything.
But he is going to make it over the finish line, meaning that once again, Ducky nets himself another victory, and that is going to conclude round number 3 of the races here in Group C. That means only one group and only one map remaining.
One map to decide it all as well. You've got 25 points available for that P1 slot. We'll see when the feed comes through what the actual points is, and we can see who will actually be in contention going into the final race. Daki, we know, picked up another win here, but the thing is that the way the system is set up, all of these wins so far, they're not as valuable as this final round on Karelia that we're about to see. Winning on Karelia is so much more important than any of these previous groups. So getting P1 is nice, but Karelia is the one that you really want to win.
Yeah, so the next map, the last map, going to be the all-deciding one. And group number C now finished, and we do see Daki coming in first place here. Because he has 2 victories compared to Monster's 1, but they are tied in points.
It's very close to the top between those two. And Camille, once again, consistency, P3, P2, and then P4. Fairly anonymous at the front, but just keeps getting those points, and he will have a good chance, because of his consistency, he will have a very good chance at winning going into this final round. And Daki and Monster, maybe they tangle with each other, maybe they crash, and then Camille just goes on through to just take the championship, having been behind the whole way.
And so this now means that in the grand scheme of things, well, nothing is decided yet. Daki coming in first after 3 groups being played. 66 points for him. Monster Yo a close second with 64. Camille, once again, Mr. Consistent, 59. And then kind of a large gap in between the 3 of those that are all very experienced racers. And the next one, but QB there, can't fault him. 39 points, place number 4. Behind him, it's going to be Des Games, then Income Freddy, Jackafar, Skill for LTU, Chef, Kaizu, Marty Vole, Moutsacrobat, Orzenel, and Jake CR. And Marty Vole, he kind of, I think he's able to dig himself out of that hole that he was in at the start, but still not the best performance by him, I would say.
That's because he keeps having decent results and then crashing. That's why it's 3, 7, and 8. But the key thing to look at is the gap between Daki and QB. QB has 39 points, so if he had a race win in this final round on Karelia, he would get to 64 points, which is not enough to take the championship. So the only 3 who are in contention are Daki, Monster, and Camille.
And they are going to be battling it out.
Sorry, I forgot. It's your best 3 of 4 results, so maybe the maths is wrong. Just got to cover myself there.
That yeah, but the fact remains that it's still going to all be decided on Karelia here. Karelia is going to be, well, the most important map of them all, and difficulty medium.
Yes, Karelia. If you've practiced it being the key word, it's very possible to go full send everywhere and be completely fine. But I suppose you could say that about any map. A lot of time is saved by doing the yellow that we can see that's at the end of the lap, that's in the top right-hand corner. If you do that yellow full speed, that will save you invaluable time, as well as the jump in the bottom left-hand corner after the hairpin on the pink road.
Yeah, that all being said, though, it's going to be kind of difficult because if I remember correctly, I've raced on Karelia before, and if you don't take those yellows, then the purple ones can be very, very tight to navigate. So,
well, the yellow that's right at the start, for example, it's you have to jump through this tiny little gap between the rocks, and if you get it slightly wrong, you die. And the benefit of doing it is about 2 seconds, I would say. So that first yellow that you see on the screen now, it's not really worth it. It's the yellow at the end of the lap that jumps into the crater with rocks surrounding it. That's the one you got to watch out for.
All right. So this now means we are going to watch the final round, the one to decide it all. Let's wait and see who can win it all.
It's going to be Daki versus Monster versus Camille. Probably a 3-way battle for the championship here, as they all try to figure out what their grid positions are going to be for this final race.
Well, grid positions can be important, but in the end, it is not going to be the deciding factor.
Well,
So-
it could be though, Key, because if you're in the middle, like Daki is right now, he is right in the middle of the pack, so he's almost not in control of anyone bumping around him. Monster is at the back, and that could be very useful because it means he can react to whatever happens in front of him. So avoiding the chaos at the start here is so important to decide who comes out in front. QB is not active at the moment. We could be about to have our first did not start in the CC EBR Racing Championship here.
Yeah, we'll have to wait
they're
and
starting.
see as the match actually, or the round does get
Abort. Race start has been aborted.
a race start. Has
QB
been...
is back. They won't leave him hanging. He will start the final race.
Well, he does get to join it here at least. So we will not have had a single DNS. That is...
No one rage quit. No one rage quit. Very sporting.
That still being said, I mean, the races didn't start yet, the final one, so...
Well, I suppose someone could have a did not start. Fabian Jakifa could have another PC crash, so, you know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. As QB does find his place in the starting roster here finally. Monster is going to start completely at the back together with XCR, Des Games, and Skill for LTU. So he's going to have some catching up to do. Freddy, Kamil, and Marty. So some experienced racers starting at the front here. And the start does get called. So off towards the last round we go.
Kamil on the inside line, pole position. Can he get away cleanly here? He is the one to watch right now, and he does get away cleanly. There's a big pile up at the back, and Freddy is caught and spun around. Is Monster caught up in that? No. Is Daki caught up in that? I think Daki went all the way to the back of the field. It's what I said. Being in the middle of the pack at the starting grid is the worst place to be, and it makes it almost impossible to avoid the chaos that evolves in front of you. But Kamil, for the first time, is leading a race here. He could be about to seize his moment and take the championship.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if he's able to do that.
Oi, 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 oi.
Arsenal crashing here with a barrel roll, so his wreck is going, to the sidelines. He's not going to be able to claim victory for sure, but there is still 13 others that might be able to do it.
And and Daki's choked. Did you see that in the bottom left corner? He just drove into the rock. He's so far off the pace right now, and this result is so important. Skill is another one that's crashed. But he's not going to be able to get a good result here. But Daki is going to have to do a last to first challenge. It's a recovery mission to save his championship hopes here. Jakifa landing on top of Freddy there, typing asterisk, 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 asterisk. I wonder what that means. Marty now doing the pink road drop, going off the racing line. That's good there, because if people want to go fast, you need to not block them, otherwise it is reportable. As Kaizu does go full send. Kaizu, with no practice, just goes full send like it's absolutely nothing, and just completes it without any HP loss like an absolute Giga Chad. XCR going slow, as are the rest of them. QB, Chef, Jakifa, Freddy. And who's that going full speed? That's Daki. He gained about 3 or 4 positions there. He traded half his HP to do so. Will it pay off in the long run, though?
It remains to be seen, as Freddy and QB are going to be jumping down here. Daki pushing QB a little, both of them losing a bit of HP, but Chef actually bearing the brunt of it, driving into a stone after. The current question being who is in the lead. It seems to me like Marty, but Monster doing the bonus lap.
Marty failed. He's up. He's facing the wrong way, though. Marty has lost valuable time here, and Kamil goes back into lead the race. Monster, keep an eye on him. He's opted to do the Joker lap on the first lap of the race, minus a little bit of chip damage there, but it's Kamil against Marty at the moment in first place. Kaizu's up there in P3. But where is Daki? Daki on 750 HP, not doing the Joker lap on the first time. So Monster has already completed the Joker lap, is still going to come out ahead of Daki. That is so important. Kaizu doesn't go fast enough to clear the rocks, and he crashes out of this one. Kamil did go full speed, and that is great for Kamil. He's pulled a big lead over Marty in second, but his main competition... Oh, and Daki goes full send as well, minus 420, swerving all over the place. All over the road, trying to stay in front of XCR. XCR blocks Monster. Mal's now pushing Kaizu's wreck out of the way like a safety car. Dez now with more speed is going to get past Mouse. Oh no, he's actually just going to speed boost him and give him a helping hand there.
Yeah, indeed. Now, Mouse going around the turn, followed by Des Games, is going to make it just fine as Jackifar losing 400 HP. Carmelita not losing any to this drop here. Marty, the same can be said for him, but we obviously see one of the wrecks lying beside it. A lot of tanks going for the yellow, for the quick route here. Ooh. Is QB going to go for it?
He looked like he was going to, and then he stopped very abruptly. I was very surprised. I would have been very surprised if he took the yellow in that situation. But Daki now down to 300 HP in third position. Monster is right behind him as well, and Monster has the HP advantage. But Camille is the big threat right now, and Camille is controlling his destiny. He's in the lead of the race. He's doing everything that he can do. It's a 9-point gap between Camille and Daki. So does Camille... Oh, did he just miss a checkpoint? He's got to go back, and he's got to go through the correct direction. So that means Marty's going to go into the lead of the race. Camille making an error there, costing him valuable time that could come back to bite him at the end.
Yeah, costing him valuable time, costing him a position, even as Freddy takes 400, but that gets dwarfed by Des Games, almost 900 damage. Mouse Acrobat actually making it cleanly, so everything going fine for him here. Now, Quick Fingers, QB coming down here is going to make it through. Also, same can be said for Chef. So a lot of the people that have been taking it slow at this particular jump are going to make it safely. And now we can see that Daki, he has been investing HP, but he has been doing so wisely, is going to get himself a few good positions up there. As Monster does jump up, does not overturn. He will try to get in front of Ducky. That's going to be important for the overall positioning as well, mind you, as Freddy makes it over. Des Games, the same can be said for him. Mouth's giving him a bit of a little nudge, but he is going to make it over regardless as well. Marty still firmly in the lead.
Marty trying to finish on a high here. He can't win the championship, but he can get a race win for his own pride in this one. Ooh, Des has crashed out. That's the fourth person eliminated in this one. That was quite spectacular the way he spun around. Mouse, that's not enough speed. And he pays the price, minus 700 there. Now Jackifer, is he going to go full speed? You've got to get all the way up to top speed on this one. He does not choose to go for it. Chef is going for the pink road, as is QB. Both those guys at the back are just playing the long game, and it seems to have served QB quite well in the overall standings, because remember, he's fourth overall, despite going slow paths on quite a few of the maps.
Yeah, now, well, Marty's still in the lead here yet. Is he going to risk it at this jump? We saw a lot of people taking a lot of damage there. No, he is going to take it slow. What about Kamil? What does he decide? Also, it looks like he's going for the slow option. So we can see a lot of the CCs trying to wait for the mistakes of others here. But if everyone's doing that, then that means not a lot of people are making mistakes.
Yeah, it's a game of chicken going on right now. Do you want to risk it all on one jump to take all the glory? Monster and Daki not doing it on this lap, but we've still got a little way to go here. This is lap number 3. Remember, Chef hitting the rock there. But obviously Monster has done the joke lap. I completely forgot about that. Monster has actually got the joke lap in hand. QB, a nice overtake there on Chef. Just carried the speed nicely through the uphill section there. Marty with a nice boost up. Staying in the lead ahead of Camille. Camille could actually, you know, Marty's not in contention for the championship, but Camille could really do a race win here because he's going to get 4 extra points for it. And that will give him a nice buffer to the guys behind.
Yeah, exactly. Kamil, he maybe doesn't even know it, but he's a high contestant for one of those overall victories that he maybe wants. Certainly would like it. QB there jumping down does realize that he needs to go to the left of the stone to take the checkpoint. Is going to do that. Chef does it as well. So a lot of boxes getting checked here. Lap number 3 has been done. So final lap of the CC EBR Races 2023. Is going to get started here. JXCR with a bonus lap is going to come in just after Mount Acrobat, just before Jackifar here. And yeah, Jackifar then not with the best race for himself in this race. Number 10, XCR dropping down, not taking any damage. Is looking to go for the quick route.
Disappointing.
Oh, that's a new take.
Might as well send it when you can't. There's nothing really on the line here. Jackifer going with a very weird line going all the way around towards the left here. QB is going to go yellow road and is going to take it slow as he almost hit a rock there and possibly could have crashed full HP. But can we see the front runners? It's the final lap. We need to know who is going to take the championship. It's Marty who's still in the lead of the race. He's still got the pace to stay ahead of Camille. Camille is unable to catch him, but Daki against Monster. Daki is going to lose position to Monster because he hasn't done the Joker lap, so Monster doesn't even need to do anything. He's quite happy to just tuck in behind him for right now and just wait for his moment.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see as Marty firmly racing ahead here. So at least in this last... on this last map, he's able to finally get something going for himself, as no one actually loses any HP on this jump. That was very costly for some others before this. Some CCs still having to do it, and ooh, that looked very dangerous by Chef, and he also needs to be careful because QB, if the two of them ram, he doesn't really have the HP anymore to sustain that.
It would be quite easily for... Oh, and another one is out. That's Mao's eliminated. Only 5 people... As we've gone on, people have gotten... I think people have just gotten generally better at driving because there's less people have been crashing. But then again, we did start off with Glacier and Mannerheim, the two most difficult maps. Only 4 people survived on Mannerheim. Camille now completing his Joker lap. Daki is going to have to wave goodbye to him as he drives to do his Joker lap now. But it's Monster versus Camille. Does Camille come out in front of Monster? I don't think it's going to matter because Monster has a points advantage over Camille. Camille is going to come out in P2. Freddy is in that battle as well. They're going to have to send it on this final yellow if they want to secure the top positions.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Camille there, is he going to stop?
Oh,
or
no!
Is he... Oh god, he drives into the stone. Monster there, barely with avoiding him. Freddy tightly tucked in behind him. So was that Camille throwing the victory here is the question. Or the second place after Marty, because I think he firmly has it in the bag. The victory lap for the Czech CC. He's going to net his first victory, and as a second comes in Monster. This is going to be hugely important for him as well. Monster, he got the victory in Shanghai. He's possibly even gonna get the victory here as more and more CCs start to flood into the victory zone.
Yeah, I think Camille changed his mind at the last second on the yellow. He was like, I'm going to go fast. And oh, no, I'm going to go slow. Daki is somehow facing the wrong direction. I think he's going to finish in way down the order. It's not going to... Oh, sorry, that's Quick Fingers there. Had his own little battle with Chef going on. I think Daki probably finished in about P5 at the end of it. So, but, oh, no, QB, he's missed. Oh, no, they've both missed the checkpoint. Chef has started to do another lap. No, they didn't miss the checkpoint, but they drove the wrong way around the rock. It's not going to matter because that checkpoint for the finish is over there, so it's not going to be a disqualification, but both of them just so eager to keep racing. They wanted to do another lap there.
All right, and that concludes the CC EBR Races 2023 for the time being. So first of all, congratulations to Marty for netting himself that victory. And now I think the remaining stuff is going to be waiting for the points to be updated. But once again, a big shout out on towards Svitman for designing the mod and designing those races. Here, the latest results. It's going to be Marty netting himself the victory. Monster Yo, as a second, coming in here, is going to net himself 21 points as well for the overall leaderboard, because, reminder, this is the only map in this group. Camilita coming in as a place number 3. Freddy, place number 4. Daki, place number 5 here. Only, and you have to say it that way, only 15 points for himself. 14 points for himself, sorry. And Jackifer, JXCR, QB. That is actually quite not the best performance for him. He was further up for most of the other races. Chef, Mouts, Des Games, Kaizu, Skill, and Orsenel to finish it off. I believe Skill and Orsenel, as well as Kaizu crashing here.
Yeah, the key thing is that we've got to think about is how much are Daki, Monster, and Camel improving their worst previous result by, because out of these 4 groups, it's your 3 best results. Corellia by itself is its own result, and we've got the results in, and Monster takes it by 1 point in the championship. beating out Daki, the Belgian superstar. Monster takes the championship. He won WCI in China, and now he wins the CC EBR races as well.
Yeah, definite congratulations on towards Monster Yo, who has had a stellar performance. There also was, well, he basically didn't really slip up anywhere. I think he crashed once out of 10 rounds, which is crazy to think.
Super consistent from Monster, but you can't help but think, but Daki threw it right at the end. Those 14 points, his next worst result was 16 points from Group B. If he gained like 1 or 2 more positions in that race at the end, he would have won it.
Yeah, he would have won it, but like this, it's all not going to matter. It is going to be Monster Yo to be snatching that victory. Ducky and Kamil to finish off the podium, and then obviously thank you to all of the CCs as well who participated in this activity. Please do check out every single one of their streams. Marty, Freddy, QB, Des Games, Jackifa, Mr. Chef, Skill for LTU, Kaizu, Mounts Acrobat, JXCR, and Orzanel. All of them have a great content to offer, although some of them do mostly stream in their own native language, so keep that in mind. But there is a lot of people producing content in English as well. And that being said, first of all, thank you to you as well for bringing all your expertise to the table, which leads us basically to remind you that this is not the end of the Tankmas streams. This is not the end of the mystery drops. There is still, first of all, 10 minutes to go today to keep claiming the drop for today, which you can see here. It is basically 5 large rep kits, 5 large med kits, and 5 large extinguishers, or a TKS60, or an M4A1 FL10. And then tomorrow and the days on the weekend, we also have stuff going on. So tomorrow, first of all, it's going to be the Tankmas 2023 historical stream with my boss Ikibu and a lot of others there as well, bringing the Christmas spirit to you from the Tank Museum over there. You definitely want to check that out. It is always a highlight of the streams in the 12 days of Tankmas that I think are tradition at this point in time as well. And on the weekend, I'm going to be there again to be bringing a lot of competitive stuff to you. We have the Winter Invitational going on, and it is going to be a truly international event with teams from, well, Europe, the Americas, and China to join us there as well. So with all of that being said and done, Moff, thank you very, very much for doing all of this with me, and I think I'll leave the last words to you.
Thank you for having me on, Keyhand. I'm very pleased to be drafted in to reveal the world of EBR racing to the mainstream World of Tanks community. It's not for everyone. If you did enjoy it, then you can sign up for future EBR races. Like we said, they happen roughly every 3 or 4 months. Perhaps a link will be provided in the chat to the official EBR Racing Discord, so you'll be notified when there's next event. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to Svitman for producing EBR Racing. It's still, I love it so much. I practice all the time, even when there's not races, because I am addicted to it. Thank you to the broadcast team for having me on. I know we had a robotic mic at the start, but it went okay after that, so thank you, everyone.
All right, so that means have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you're at. We'll see you tomorrow for the historical stream.